the ultimate. Main technical partner for Lamborghini Super Trofeo. Ventus. Hankook Tire.
Lagi pun tak apa lagi tak mau sangat. Lagi pun tak apa lagi orang tak mau. Kita jangan beri sangat. Apa dia tak tunggu.
It's a bit gloomy down here. There's some rain, as you can see at the back of us, but that would not deter the spirit as well as the enthusiasm of all our drivers who are going to be competing on this infamous Sepang International Circuit track. A very good afternoon to all of our fellow viewers, wherever it is you might be watching us officially on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube channel as well. My name is Mio Adlan and we're coming to you live for round number 3 of the Malaysia Touring Car Championship. Together with me, the ever so lovely Erin Cheong.
Yes, unfortunately, I can't cry. I'm crying on the inside because I'm paired up with him every time. But here we are for round 3 MTCC 2026. And this is going to be a very interesting round because we're switching it up a bit.
We're switching it up a bit.
Yes.
But before we dive a bit more into the race, we do want to share with all our fellow viewers as well. Yes, you know it. We are coming much closer to the date in question, which is the 30th of October until the 2nd of November. Apa yang akan jadi actually ya waktu tarikh-tarikh ni sebenarnya?
Now that is the Malaysian Grand Prix of Malaysia 2026.
Petronas Grand Prix of Malaysia
Petronas Grand Prix
2026
of Malaysia
MotoGP.
2026. Yes, it's the gloomy
It's
weather
the
getting to
rain.
us.
Blame it on the rain,
Yes,
yes.
it is. But that will never change what's going to be happening on the 30th of October. Of course, MotoGP will be happening down here at Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Do grab your tickets on our official website, sepangsircuit.com, and follow us on our social as well, Sepang Circuit, for all the announcements and updates. And we have a very special tribune.
Betul, kita ada satu tribune dari khas untuk our national hero, which is Hakim Danish. Yes, you heard that right. Hakim Danish Tribune yang akan dibuka for the Malaysian MotoGP. So tiket kita diberitahu, we were just told that there are still tickets left for you guys to come and enter at this special segment at the grandstand area if you want to join us at the Hakim Danish Tribune. So again, all the informasi semua anda boleh dapati from all our media sosial Sepang Circuit. Tiket-tiket dijual seperti pisang panah. Ui, sedap lah pula makan pisang panah hujan-hujan ni.
Now, of course, the Hakim Danish Tribune is somewhere at the at our back area right here, which is going to be the starting and the ending line, as you will be seeing. Of course, I am very happy to see a man with hair as compared to Mio here next to me. But we are coming back to what's going to be happening down here today in this rainy weather at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. It's going to be a 300 km endurance race. Hi, there, it's out there.
Exactly. So, kita akan bahagikan kepada 2 hari, di mana hari ini, just for today, we will be witnessing the 300 km endurance race for the TP as well as the TP2 classes. The rest, the MTC, MT2V and G, will be happening tomorrow, Sunday. So it's going to be a 2-day jam-packed racing here at the Sepang International Circuit. So
300 km.
300 km lama tu.
Hours,
lebih kurang 2.5 jam. So make sure you guys tune in with us and watch all of the excitement that is going to be unfolding down here. And the people who are going to be literally unfolding all of the action.
Giving you all the action. Of course, they are cozy in their very own environment. Right now, we have...
Rain or shine, it doesn't matter to them. They are just very comfortable in their little room, you know, with drinks, with snacks, and just talking to the TV. We have, who again? I forget lah.
I also forget lah.
You forget. Do we need to tell the names?
Do we have to?
We
I
got
don't think
G
it matters.
and Nick.
Hey,
you forgot the chicken. We've got chicken up here as well. And today especially, we are very, very happy to be in our, as they said, cozy little place, simply because, for the first time ever, Nick Arnold joining me in the commentary box. Dude, this is the first time ever we've been able to 100% predict that this is going to be a wet race.
Yes, in fact, when we are on the way here, the signs were ominous.
Yeah, it really looked it. But, I mean, it is actually raining now. And, you know, we've seen wet races before. Of course, this is, as Muir and Arin point out, very special season 2026, because I've done this championship now, even when it was the Malaysia Championship Series, for many a year, for about, what, 8, 9 years now, and we've never had a round 3 endurance 300-kilometer race. This is a different kettle of fish.
Yes, indeed, it's a game changer, and I think it's Sepang's attempt to freshen things up, to put this endurance race in the midst of the season, because like you mentioned, usually it happens in round 4.
Exactly.
Double points at stake, and it just makes things a tad bit more interesting.
Well, we're going to be going through the standings as they stand right now. This is, of course, I think the reason that they've done this is because this is the second half, the start of the second half of the season. There are 4 rounds every year. And of course, rounds 1 and 2 brought us some fantastic action. And this is the championship standings as of now. Nick, take it away.
Yep, so Leon Koo, as you can see, currently comfortable in top spot of the TP category, simply because he has pretty much dominated the race in the first 2 rounds. Jonathan Z really salvaging the first podium finish. Jonathan Z, as we know, had so much of issues, car troubles, but he did so well to finish in 2nd place, despite starting from the last. Muhammad Hafiz Kamaruddin, for me, has been the standout. Another impeccable performance to take 3rd place, currently resides in 3rd place. Arif Hanafia in 4th, and Chiang Chun Chang, a new competitor. He's not too far behind. So all in all, Jeef, there is really nothing much separating our 5 competitors, as we can see in the TP2. Ken Urata back in the mix, simply because he had a perfect weekend in round 2, double win over Chiao Tek Song.
And as you can see, there's only 12 points in that, and you know there's 30 points available basically today. 15 points usually every round or every race in the championship rounds. Double points today, as you said, so everything can change in this section. Of course, there is also MTC, MT2V, and G as well. That's going to be happening tomorrow. Today, it's all about the big guns, and as you can see, that's the beautiful, is that the A45?
That is the A45, and there is been a development in that A45, because this man, Fadzil Alang, will be making his debut in the turbo class category. He's going to be teaming up with Arif Hanafia, and this is going to be the only 2-man team competing in the TP2000.
That is incredible news, actually, and thanks for updating me. As you well know, I got off a plane this morning from China, so I fly back for MTCC. That's how important it is. Now, talking of that, you know, and this is going to refresh everybody's memory, let's have a look back at what's happened so far. This is what it looked like for this first race of the day. Very sunny times. This was a little bit bad behavior from, well, as we pointed out, Jonathan Z, a little bit of spit out, but he got control. Those 4 cars would be cut down to 3. Jonathan Z suddenly lost power and would pretty much be a background figure for the rest of the race. While this was happening, of course, Leon Koo was just cruising around. It is shutting down the lines on turn 15. And all 3 of them had a good fight, came out safely, and this was the last chance for Hafiz. This really is the last lap. And he had half the car, just didn't work out for him in the end. And that's a good shot of what Leon was doing the entire race. Just cruising around, he gets his checkered flag, and then Ken Rod will come in to pick up the win for our works in TP2. Because of the reverse grid, Leon Koo had to start at the back, but that didn't stop him for very long, let's face it. And he was up and running already into 3rd off the start. Well, it would be Chang Chun Shang. First, Timothy Yeo ducked out after, what, 30 seconds. Then it was Chun Ching Sheng and Mohamed Hafiz fighting at the back. In the middle, Leon Koo would take over second place here at turn 10. The two GR86s had a great fight in TP2. Chatek Seong picked up an infringement for that move. Hafiz at the back, they got very close. But in the end, as I said, Hafiz would come through nicely to pick up his 4th spot. A good run out for the weekend for him. As you can see, clear track for Leon Koo, and that makes it 4 wins in a row. Flawless since the beginning, and Ken Hirata will also pick up a double win this weekend, and as usual, provided all the entertainment that we need, and Johnny Z with a good finish. Well, that is fantastic. What a look back, and I think that's the big thing to take from that, apart from the fact that we had a lot of fun, Nick, is Leon Koo 4 wins straight.
Leon Koo has been in an absolutely outstanding form, and what I like about him, he's such a gracious competitor. He never really talks about himself. He never talks about how good he is on the track. Rather, he always pays homage to his competitors. But make no mistake, he's a man on a mission. He wants to consolidate the championship once and for all this weekend.
And he can do that this weekend.
He can do that.
Because he's, of course, in the most commanding position with 71 points.
There he is.
And it's, as I said, in motor racing, I was just doing, badminton yesterday. It's a different sport. In motor racing, it's all about the team, and the team have given him a fantastic car. And that's one, that just adds to the fact that he's a great driver as well, because every driver needs a good car, and that good car is the product of a lot of hard work from those engineers. And they've, as I said, they put together a good car in sunny conditions. That's the other thing I took from those highlights. What are they going to do here? This is, a different, as I said, it's a different situation. Now, I know a lot of, Fadzil Alang's one of them. I know a lot of drivers who actually prefer driving in the wet than driving in the dry.
Yeah, definitely. The temperatures are cooler. I think in terms of the tire management, it's better as well. Not so much of pressure on the tires in terms of braking and accelerating.
I'm not worried about the pressure on the tires. I'm worried about the traction of the tires, to be honest, especially in turn 15, where over these many years that I've commentated on Malaysia Championship Series, which then became the Malaysia Touring Car Championship, of course, turn 15, when it gets rainy, is a tricky proposition. It's not easy.
It is not easy. But having said that, I don't know if I should speak too soon, but the rain has stopped in front of us. There is currently...
Nick, I think you have
just
a
a
gift.
little dam. It's just a little dam.
I think you have a gift, my friend. Well, yeah.
As soon as it started, it seems to have ended.
The thing is, it was heavy, though. And that's going to have left a lot of moisture, as, when you watch it from home, or wherever you are watching around the world on this official Sepang live stream, you see a flat track. You see great asphalt. It's an FIA Grade 1 track after all. But actually, this track has a lot of indents and a lot of bumps. And you can actually see some of them here off on the left of your screen, the different textures of the track. Now, around the 15 corners, which we will see very soon, moisture piles up. For example, I can give you turns 9 and 10. Turns 9 and 10 is almost a natural waterfall when it comes down to it.
Yeah, indeed.
So there's going to be a lot of moisture still residual. And in some ways, would you, if you were a driver, would you rather have a track that's fully wet and still raining, where your wet tires come into play fully, or one that's half dry and half wet?
Well, it really depends. I think I would love to race in this situation where it's not so wet, it's just damp. The weather's cooling. It also works in the favor of the drivers where they are not under intense heat.
Well, it's funny we should mention it because you can actually see team mechanics there rolling out slick tires just in case, because, they might need them. And that's what I was going to say. It doesn't actually matter whether it's fully wet or whether it's half wet, half dry. What matters is you jumping on the right tires at the right time to match the track and the circuit, especially when it's 54 laps. And let me just go through that. Most Malaysian Touring Car Championship race rounds are sprint races. They are 1 hour plus leader, about 21 laps. You'll probably get about 90, 21 laps, which already, there you go, wet race has been declared. So most of these teams will be starting on wets for certain. But as I said, it's about 21 laps, and you've already seen how the cars get pushed to the maximum, even in 21 laps. Now you have 54 laps. Right?
Yeah.
300 kilometers. That's the same as driving from here, if you're a local resident, from here to Singapore, essentially. And that's one way.
Yes.
At full pelt. Now, before we go any further, these are the 15 corners. As I said, there's a lot of indents. There could be a lot of moisture on all of them. It's very fast around the longest straights, the 927-meter straights. 1 and 2, very tricky. 3, 4, 5, and 6, pretty fast. 7 and 8, slowing down a bit. 9 and 10, absolute nightmares. And then when you get to 14 and 15...
That's where all the action seems to have transpired.
Yeah, and look at the difference in track temperature as well. We've seen track temperatures going up to 50 degrees sometimes, right? 29 degrees means you're going to get a lot more out of your tires, simple as that. Cloudy, as you predicted, Nick, it isn't fully pelting down with rain, and it'll be interesting to see how fast the lap times are, because we've seen in rounds 1 and 2 some very, very fast laps.
Yes, we have seen 232s, 233s. And speaking of lap times, I'm just going to highlight what happened in qualifying. Can you just take a guess who topped qualifying?
Leon Ku. It did.
All right, so then let's talk
that.
about
I might be psychic.
Let's talk about lap times, right? We talked about 230s, but these guys, they absolutely blitzed through the track yesterday. Can you just take a guess? What did Leon Ku clock?
229.
No, much faster than that.
You're kidding me.
Much faster than that.
Well, the fastest I've seen was Mark Darwin a few years ago at 224.
He's gone faster than that, Leon.
He's done a 223.
He's done a 223. 223, and that's a whole second faster than Jonathan Z.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was the man to beat. Jonathan Z came in second, 224.
Don't quote me on this. Because I haven't got the stats right in front of me, but I actually think that a 223 might be one of the fastest laps I've ever heard of.
It could be, and
MCS.
Just based on qualifying, it seems like the top three.
Qualifying is a bit different because you have your flying laps, and nobody's trying to hit your car, and nobody, it isn't a big grid for TP and TP2, but still, you don't have that pressure when you are qualifying, because you only need to get the car ready for 5 laps, 10 laps at the max. But still, 223, very, very, very respectable. I'm guessing it was, as I told you, I was flying yesterday. I'm guessing it was sunny and dry.
Yes, it was.
To hit that kind of level,
it was gloomy yesterday, but I'm not too sure how it was in this part of Sepang. What I can say is that it did not rain heavily. If there was any rain, it was just light showers.
Yeah, that sounds more like it. So I said, so we could be looking at 229s, 230s, 231s, maybe. I'm thinking probably with the rain, 233s.
Yes, I'm just looking at the qualifying, and in fact there are a couple of teams that have gone with 2 drivers. So Leon Ku is teaming up with Lai Wee Seng. Jonathan Z is on his own. He's going to do the 300 all by himself. Arif, like I mentioned earlier, he's teamed up with Fadzil Alang. Great choice, by the way. Mohammad Hafiz is on his own. Chan Chung Shang has teamed up with Ling Guang Yu. And
Chow Tek Song and
Chow Tek
Song.
Song.
We'll look at the grid in a second. But
interestingly, there isn't Ken Urata there this time. It's Lim Junji and Lim Yu Han who makes up the other R Engineering team.
That's very true.
So opportunity for Chow Tek Song to actually pull away and perhaps seal the championship in round 3 itself.
Well, the other thing is, I said, we have to really highlight the differences between this round and some of the other rounds, or all of the other rounds, in that it's not just double points. As I said, there's a lot of factors that come into play when you're trying to push these cars. That's what I was saying. They're pushed to the maximum in 21 laps. Hello, Grid Girls. How are you doing? Good to have them up at the track again for this, which is it's very much a pinnacle race. It rises above the other rounds. And having it at the start of the second half of the season means that you've still got a chance afterwards.
Absolutely, because as we took a look at the standings earlier, Leon Koo was on 70 plus points.
71, yeah.
And Chiang was on 44, if I'm not mistaken, and that's just about a 30-point deficit. Now, barring any miracle, if Chiang can somehow win this race, and Leon doesn't end up finishing this race, then they would be on almost level on points.
Now, the reason we've said that is because Leon Koo's car has been proven, and that's a proven fact, at the, 21 lap limit. Okay, it's proven and is dominant at that. What it does from laps 22 to 54 is still unknown. And of course, they do want to find out what it does, because this is the only kind of endurance test. It is, when it comes to endurance racing in motor racing, it's small. 300 kilometers, right? 54 laps. You see, I mean, I've done Asian Le Mans Series, goes up to 182 laps, right? But it is the only litmus paper test that they're going to have before, of course, S1K.
S1K, yeah. So this serves as a preview to the S1K.
Oh, well. I think we're ready to get down to the track itself, and the guys are with none other than Jonathan Z.
And right now we're on the tracks of the Petronas Sepang International Circuit, and I'm with car number 17 for the TP category. I'm here with the infamous Jonathan Z. Now I'm sure you remember him from all the actions that we have on screen. Jonathan, yes. Of course the big question is, it's a wet race, it's a dry race. What do you think it's going to be?
I think it'll be wet.
You're anticipating a wet race today?
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to ask, because this is round 3 and this is going to be a 300-kilometer endurance race. We've seen you on action on the tracks for round 1 and round 2. We have seen a bit of mishaps here and there. What are you feeling about today's race?
So after round 2 and round 1, we did a lot of testing with the team, and of course we make changes. And today is the time where we test whether our recipe made it.
And do you think today you would face any challenges? Do you think the wet race is going to be a challenge for you? Because maybe your testing didn't take up the entire endurance and also the strategy that will be on play today.
I'm always preferring the wet race. So today will be a good time for me to test the wet race with this car and the new wet tires, which we haven't really got a chance to test. So it'll be a very good opportunity.
I think you're right, actually. I think you're very specialized in the wet race. I can't wait to see you in action today. Good luck to you, Jonathan. Back to Nick and Jeeve.
Yeah, I hope he has a good Johnny Z day.
Yes.
There are good Johnny Z days and there are not so good Johnny Z days. And hopefully, as I said, he is actually very good in the wet. I think it's a favored condition because, of course, it's going to be a lot cooler inside the car, not just in the engine, but inside the cockpit as well, for the drivers. I mean, I said 29-degree track temperature, probably about 32 ambient outside. You got the water. If it is coming down, is it started raining again?
No, it
looks like
not from where we are seated. Perhaps on the other side of the track. But yes, a great point on Jonathan Z, because if we go back to how he did.
Well, let's get back to that because we have an opportunity to talk to 5512 Racing. That's Mohammed Hafez. He's down with the guys.
That is right, guys. Yes, I'm now down here on the track. We're at the 4th position here together with the driver from 5512 Racing, car number 100. We have Hafiz down here, another solo driver for the TP category who's going to be competing in this 300 km endurance race. Hafiz, macam mana kita? Okay?
Okay, macam biasa.
Macam biasa, eh? Okay, so obviously, when it comes to Malaysia, I think you pun dah experience juga before this wet race, dry race, and officially when you see this time around, it's a bit wet down here, it's very unpredictable, and you solo driver pula tu. So, any special tactics that you can employ, or it just comes down to the engine, to the car, and to your own skills?
Okay, first sekali, thank you so much, Bamio, and then thank you MPCC Sepang. 300 km is an endurance race, so chances is open to all competitors. Actually tak ada apa-apa special strategi, power still same macam last round apa semua. Cuma kita harapkan yang strategi yang kita dah rancang, engineer kita dah rancang akan berhasil lah.
And of course, when it comes to endurance race, tyre management is very, very critical. Sangat critical dari segi penjagaan tyre dan juga enjin dan sebagainya. Of course, expectation you at the end of this round, round number 3 for MTCC, harapan you?
Harapan. Okay, my boss cakap actually nothing to lose. Tapi kita cuba sedaya upaya yang boleh. Kalau ikutkan on paper, still kita antara yang terendah, paling tak laju. Tapi saya harapkan yang ada result yang bagus lah.
Okay, apa-apa pun good luck to you, Hafiz, and hopefully we get to see each other dekat podium nanti, insyaAllah. Okay, terima kasih. Alright, that's it from Hafiz. Back to you, gents.
Thanks, Mio. And that's interesting points. Hey, great to see some spectators up here as well. Thanks for joining us this weekend. Don't forget, there's going to be another 300-kilometer race tomorrow. They can't put both of these things together because it's going to be too many cars on the track, I would have thought. But it's good to have it all, kind of, for me, as I said, middle endurance, which is what I call these races, have the most fun in them. And if you have just joined us for the first time ever, for some reason, for MTCC, I said these touring cars, these touring cars tuned up to race spec are the same cars that you would drive at home and that we've driven up to the circuit. And they are not built, as I said, there are certain machines, like the F1 car, for example, and the Le Mans prototype, which are so technically advanced that they will continuously grip the racing line throughout every corner. Now, the way these cars are designed, being touring cars, being road cars, they don't naturally do that. And we'll get back to that wonderful lecture on race dynamics. Right now, we're going to get back down to the grid. Guys are with another one of our contenders.
Right now, I'm with the TP2 category. I have Jason Chow, car number 11. Jason, real quick, before you go off, we want to hear a bit from you. It's going to be a wet race or a dry race. What do you think?
Yeah, very nervous now because of wet track. So I will do my best to safety, to drive. Hopefully can save to finish.
How do you feel about finishing at the first place now? Of course, it's been a bit of a challenge for you the previous rounds. Do you think you'll be able to grab the first place spot today?
Nothing special. So let's see what will happen.
I can't wait to see you out on action. Good luck to you, Jason. Back to Nick and Jeef as we're about to start our race.
Keeping his cards pretty close to his chest there, Chow Tae-kyung in the number 11 GR86. That's one of the great cars, or marks, as I guess, the Toyota that has come into this season's competition. As you can see, we are very, very close to race time now. And in fact, that might be the 1-minute board. In fact, should be the 2-minute board because it's scheduled to start at 1:10. And if so, then they're going to be off on their formation lap. Of course, race control are now alert and aware and watching everything that happens on this track. And they, of course, have the authority to control this formation lap before they get into the meat of the day, which is the 54 kilometers. It is the 1-minute board that's about to be shown.
Interestingly, going back to Hafiz's interview earlier, and he said his car was not the fastest, but I actually beg to differ because that Toyota has just put itself right in contention and battled the Hondas and also the Mercedes A45, and he has helped himself to 3 podium finishes. So really, you can't say that the car is a lesser than the competitors.
I just think he was playing his cards very close to his
He's
steering
been
wheel.
absolutely immaculate in his approach to this race. Remember in the first round, he was talking about bidding his time to come into this championship and doing the necessary homework and R&D, and it took him 3 years before he eventually made his debut.
Wow, that's
but
a
look
great
at him
story,
now.
yeah. And that's a great story. As I said, a lot of people, you know, when they see sport on TV, they don't realize the levels you have to go through to actually get here. You know, you look at the likes of Adi Rahimi Rashid and MTC and MT2V and G and stuff. He started as a gamer and ended up as not just a racer, but a champion as well. He was winning, you know, strings of races. So it was a secret kind of calling that was unlocked by a hobby.
Yeah, indeed, we've seen a lot of these
But I have to say that
competitors.
his dad is a driving instructor.
Indeed, but there's a lot of them, like even the brothers Nabil and Nakib Azlan. They
great.
started off in simulation and now they are experts in both virtual and real life racing.
Now, for me personally, this is an absolutely personal opinion. Having 7 cars on the grid on a track of this quality, of this magnitude, is perfect. And you know, we've had grids all together at MTCC of bordering up to 67 cars at some point.
We've had over 60 plus. I remember sneaking all the way behind.
And you know, just to finish what I was saying before we went to the last interview, I said these cars, you can see them as they're going around the track. This is turn 5 now. They're not 100% built for those lines. Now, these are the 7 drivers, or more. Leon Koo and Lai Wei Sing in pole, Jonathan Z in second, Arif Hanafia, Fazil Alang and Mohammed Hafiz in 3rd and 4th.
And then Chiang Chun Shang and Ling Guang Yu in 5th. And of course, the TP2 is made up of Xiao Teng Song and also Lim Junji and Lim Yu Han.
A lot of R engineering cars in there, actually 3 of them. And Lai Wei Sing, of course, the founder and principal of that team. Most successful team in MCS, Malaysia Championship Series, and Malaysia Touring Car Championships as it stands now. And of course, it's a very new, nascent championship. But just finally, to finish like my point, as I was saying, they're not 100% built to keep the racing line. So they can sway out sometimes and have to be controlled. Now, it does look like that's turns 9 and 10. That's the nightmare I was describing beforehand. That looks very dry, so I don't even think that was hit by the quick rainstorm that we had earlier.
Yeah, precisely. I think it just rained down for about 2 minutes plus, and then it stopped.
If that is the case, then yeah, these are perfect conditions.
Perfect conditions,
for
yeah.
a lot of sports, but definitely, as I was saying, for cars that can sometimes sway in and off the racing line, it is perfect conditions. They get a lot of traction. I did notice a couple of the cars, I can't remember which ones right now, that had slick tires.
Oh, look at that.
Well, there you go. The GR86 is already taken. That's Chao Teng Song, actually.
Yeah.
So that's one of those patches of moisture that I was talking about, which was left.
They're going extra slow on them.
And you can see how dark it is at the corner, at the edge of that corner there, because that is the telltale sign of whether there's a lot of moisture on there or not. Now, it's, as I said, I don't think Chao hit anything there, and I don't think he left any debris, so we should still be able to start without any further incident. But, unless, of course, race control calls another formation lap, doesn't look
Yeah, on
like
the back
we
of that
will.
incident, they might just go for another formation lap just to make sure that...
No, they're stopping up, so good. It looks like we are... No, they are going for another formation lap. Good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to ensure that there's no puddles or added moisture there.
Or if there are, so that all the drivers are fully aware of where they are, that's important as well.
Because that was quite surprising that Chiao actually skidded a little bit. He wasn't going fast at all. In fact, he was already braking. He was just on brake mode.
But as I said, that's a downhill part of the very slightly downhill part. It is fast in race conditions, and if he did catch the outside of it, which is what I'm thinking, the camber of the road is what I'm talking about, then it is probably worth going. That was the back straight, so you know what? We're not having
safety car is peeled
another
off.
formation lap. The safety car has peeled off. It's going to be straight on as soon as those get to or go out. Then it's a rolling start all the way to turn 1 and round 3, the endurance race. The special meal, really, in the season combo.
Immediate pressure from Leon Koo, from Z, and also Arif. And look at Hafiz on the outside.
Yeah, that's a smart move by Hafiz, but I was just saying how there's might be some moisture on the outside and inside. You can see how the track is peeling downwards.
Oh, Leon was really slow out there coming off turn 3. You can see he was just taking his time to ease off the brakes.
I'm really happy that everybody got away nicely. The two GR86s are at the back. That would be TP2. And up front, as you can see, Jonathan Z, that's classic Z livery in his car, the black and yellow.
Of course, like you mentioned earlier, traditionally in all the other rounds, this will be a sprint race, 30 minutes plus one additional lap.
Bit of defending there from Johnny Z. He's being outclassed. That's
again,
the same. Look at all
Indeed.
the water. Look at the water on the inside.
That's the same
it's
turn.
actually on the entrance and exit of that
That's
corner.
coming into turn 8.
That's 7 and 8. Yeah. So this is 9 and 10 now. So 7 and 8. I told you. It looks like all the water's actually run off. So this is the exact bit of skidding already. Look, this is only lap 1.
Leon Koo struggling to come to grips with his Honda.
It's lap 1. So I
track
think
conditions are much more challenging than we expected.
well, Leon Koo did put in fastest sector 1. Obviously, he didn't put in fastest sector 2, which is where they are now. And now sector 3 times are coming in. Johnny Z is topping it with in sector 3. Leon Koo's a full 2 seconds off him, in fact. So this has gifted Johnny Z a great run. This A45 is going to outpower most of these cars on the straight.
Yeah, and RF did well for himself to just come up real close behind Leon and Z early on, and then capitalized when Leon had that earliest slip up coming in turn 7.
Look, we have to keep an eye on turn 7 and 8 because that's 4 cars that got affected by...
That's going to be a point of contention, a turn of contention.
And you actually saw, with your own eyes, the water coming off the frames of the cars as well.
Meaning to say, Jeff, it was light showers here, but perhaps when it stopped raining here, it did not over there.
It's
Because
a
we
big
know
track.
the Sepang International Circuit, it can be clear in one section of the track, but it can be pelting on the
Yeah,
other
it's
side.
5.543 kilometers on the asphalt, but the whole track itself, in terms of square acre, or is huge. So big, in fact, that usually on race weekends throughout the year, you can split the Sepang International Circuit track up into the north course and the south course. This is the full course that we've got now, and if you imagine those 2 straights in the middle of the circuit, the top half is the north course, bottom half is the south course. And yes, wildly different conditions. So we're coming up to 7, 8, 9 now. We should be, yes, here in fact, that's 6 if I'm right. So they'll be very fast, and then into... Yeah, this is it, there you go. And they've all managed to avoid that line, which is very good.
Yeah, they've all kept it closer to the turn.
So you can just put that first lap down to testing out the conditions. Now, who won and who lost from that first lap? Well, obviously, Leon Koo lost big time. 3 seconds off against the storming Jonathan Z early on does not bode well.
But Jonathan Z has always looked to try and get early advantage, especially in a 300-kilometer race. I think he's coming out with a big point to prove. And Leon finds himself in this unfamiliar territory for him, even so early in the race.
I reckon, as I said, it's going to come down to reliability now. If you took a generalization, and I said to you, okay, what's more reliable, a Honda or a Mercedes? What are you going to say?
I would say a Honda.
You see, it's a debate in your head. You have to think about it for a second and go, how would that work?
Yeah.
Now, that is a complete generalization,
Yeah.
as I said, okay? There's a VW at the front, if I'm right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, you've got these marques that have this engineering. There's a Toyota at the back there as well. And that will come into play at some point. It's not the reason that it's going to be a winner or
well, we say this based on a track record, on what has transpired over the course of the last few seasons. We saw how Fadzil Alang dominated in the A45 last season. He won 3
Yeah,
races.
I remember ST100.
But the balance
same
of the
thing.
races, he could not even complete the race. So while the
The Honda
A45
Civic,
is...
the Honda Civic FD2, for me, over the last 9 years, has been the most, and that's a Civic FL5 that we're watching now, has been the most successful car. And, funnily enough, we should be looking at it, it was run by our engineering, the most successful team. How did they win all their championships? Honda Civic FD2. So that came through in reliability, it came through in cornering, it came through in speed, it came through in a lot of different things. The A45, I said I watched with the Singaporean team, ST1 a few years ago, they dominated with it as well. We've seen what it can do already this season. Some may say it's got a heavier chassis than the other cars. Some may say that it's better in a straight line than, you know, because of European versus Japanese engineering. But when it comes down to it, these are the tools. Look, that's
unscheduled pit for Charlie.
we didn't actually go through the pit stop. So what are the pit rules for the 300-kilometer race?
Yeah, so there will be 2 pit stops, 2 compulsory 5-minute pit stops with refueling. And this will be carried on from lap 15 to lap 42. And that's where driver changes are also permitted. This is obviously an unscheduled pit.
Look at that. That's answered our question. Slicks to wets. Okay.
Look at that. The tire is absolutely gone bald.
That is those were slick tires. They started off with slick tires. They started skidding at turn 7. They put wet tires on, so he's going to get slightly less lap times. They say that's a totally slick tire. That's not a wet tire. That's a dry tire.
3 laps in and unscheduled pit stop.
That was because they had the wrong tire settings on that car. So he may have lost some time now. He's got some time. Look at Jonathan Z's sector times. He's more purple than Caesar in Rome. Okay, right now it's all purple. He's got the fastest lap, 2:35.743. He's clocking a 31 in sector 1, a 33 in sector 2, and a 47 in sector 3. That's a full second ahead of everybody else. He's the exact driver that we needed in terms of a story evolving throughout the season to pick up 30 points here.
Yeah, still early days, but looking good for Z so far.
Oh, he's on 17 now, right?
Yes.
Right. Points. No, that's his,
Z is 40, 41.
He's on 41 points.
41, so he
30
trails.
points here would tie him up with Leon Koo if Leon Koo doesn't finish.
If Leon doesn't finish.
Well, that's Chatik Song coming out on his
But
wet
that tire
tires
change
now.
had to be done from slicks to...
Oh, had to, yeah. You can't be
Because,
sliding off 7, 8, 9 every lap for 54 laps. That's not gonna go down well at all.
And Chow realized that early on because he had skidded off during the warm-up lap.
So, well, this is all that shenanigans, shall we say, that happened. But look at the amount of water at that point. Thankfully, it looks like the other two are already on wet tires. So yeah, he had to make a change for sure.
Currently on his out lap, Xiao. Of course, it's early days. We're only 4 laps in. But this man defending the current leader, having to play catch up. Oh wow, he's 15 seconds behind.
I said 2:33s, and
I think there's something wrong with Leon's car. He's just dropped off the pace quite a fair bit.
He had a pretty serious slide. Now, it looked like he controlled it very well, and he did, but did he... did something get shunted at the bottom of that car? That's the thing.
Perhaps, because not too long ago it was
brakes, it could be
it
gear.
was less than 10 seconds and he's dropped off the pace quite significantly.
Yeah, he really has. But I mean, you could look at these times in a different way. Jonathan Z is absolutely storming it right now. 2:34 was his last lap. and he looks like he's on something close to that right now. 2:36 is from, I guess that's Arif in the car first.
Yeah, it's Arif.
For Papaya Pay. And then all the other cars are 2:40 and less. Now, I said just at the beginning when we were talking about qualifying that I was expecting the fastest lap to be 2:33, and he's just hit that. Johnny Z's just hit that now.
Yeah. So this Z is currently the fastest. That was the fastest lap today, 2:33.
Yeah.
And that's 3 seconds faster than
Said,
Arif.
if the track is drying up really quickly, then fine.
They'll get faster.
It'll get even faster. But I think right now, with these patches of water still around, because there's a lot of humidity in the air. It's not like the rain is stopped, but it's cloudy. So, you know, the sun is not there. The Malaysian sun has this amazing ability to just roast everything. And so if it came out now, within 5 minutes, most of the patches of moisture on the track would be dried up. But you can see the gray of the asphalt getting a little bit lighter.
I think we spoke about the Honda's reliability earlier. There's either something wrong with Leon's car currently, or he's just trying to find the best momentum on track, because he seems to be losing a lot of time.
Well, he's actually up. He did a 2:40 beforehand. He's on a 2:39.458. So, and the reason why I'm not subscribing to that opinion just yet is because he's still tied up with another 2 cars.
In terms of lap times?
Yeah, in terms of lap times, there's 3 in the middle, which is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Leon Koo, Chang Chun Chang, and Mohammed Hafez, who are all on 2:39. If that breaks somehow, like I would say, for example, well, the TP2s are a good 10 seconds behind everybody else, so we can count them out. In terms of TP1, they're actually just 6 seconds slower than Jonathan Z. And
so Leon is still on track. He's just now having to find his way back.
It could be a strategy because it's a longer race. You stay at 2:39 now. You don't put too much pressure on the engine. I love Johnny Z. Okay, I think he's a fantastic driver. I've watched him. He's been not just candidate, but winner of my coveted Most Valuable Driver award, which I award to, you know, the most valuable driver. But you could also say that he pushes the car too much early on, and that might be what he's doing now. That could be the strategy he's doing now. He's going to ease off a little bit later on, maybe on the 20th lap, 25th lap, starts easing off. Whereas 20, 25 laps in, maybe that's where Leon Koo is going to engineer his charge. So you can't never know. But I think that if there was something wrong with his car, he would be off it. Even the TP2s would be ahead.
Yeah, speaking of Leon, there he is now looking to come into turn 1 and just keep that momentum going. You may be right, Jeff, because he's just gotten 2 seconds faster on a 2:37.
That's what I mean. You don't know. These aren't the 21 lap usual round strategies that we're going to see.
Yeah, so for viewers back home, this is a completely different race strategy-wise, approach-wise, and there's so many different dynamics that we can look at, despite it only being a seven-team competition. You look at Arif Hanafia in the Papaya Pay. Now, questions will be asked on the durability and the endurance of that Mercedes A45. Does Arif and Fazil have that staying power to be on track over the course of 54 laps? That is something that Z and Leon will also look to monitor closely.
Okay, here's something else for you to think about. As I said, in terms of endurance racing, I've done 8-hour Asia Le Mans races. And of course, those cars have onboard computers, 26 onboard computers that monitor every bolt, every rolling thing. So you know when the car is breaking down. You know when you have to push it and when you can't push it. These cars don't have that. You don't know how much you could push this car. You don't know if when Chao Tek-song went into the corner, he was pushing the car too hard. So the most practical strategy you can have at this point in the race, if you crunch all the numbers, is to stay within the pace. see what happens, right? Is Johnny Z going to be able to maintain? He's now up to 2:32.667. This will mean that he is, as you can see, 11 seconds ahead right now. In a 21 lap race, that's one.
Yeah, he's halfway through,
Yeah,
right?
That's absolutely one. Okay, in a 15 lap race, 17 lap race, if you're 11 seconds up, you've got a pretty good chance at winning if your reliability stays with you. But you know, the likes of our engineering, as I said, they're a very smart team indeed. Lai Wei Sing is an extremely smart motor technician when it comes down to these strategies. And that 39 car, it's just got to 237. It was 240. It went to 239.
And let's see what he will clock now. He's gotten faster. It's 236.
36. So he's incrementally getting faster and faster and faster, right? And I think possibly that is going to have less stress on the car.
Look at Z. He's on a 2. Wow. That's 3 seconds faster than the last lap. He's on a 231.
Well, I tell you, he's a very fast driver indeed. Very, very fast driver indeed. And he's pushing from the lights, basically, from the opening corner, right? He was gifted, yes, a little bit at the beginning, but that was just 3 seconds. And after that, it's all him. I'm not worried about his reliability, but I am concerned about the rate of push. Because it looks to me, you said that Leon Ku's car may be broken. It looks to me that Leon Ku, Chang Shunshang, and Mohammed Hafez are incrementally adding speed per lap. Do that for the first 20 laps, cruise for the next 10 laps, and what does that leave you? It leaves you with enough gas in the tank to push for the last.
Gives you enough
laps.
momentum. And speaking of Z, of course, we have to look at what had happened to him over the course of the last 2 rounds. He did not finish 3 races. Only managed to complete 1 race and get himself on the podium. But he has had car troubles.
Yeah, you know, we talked to him on the grid. He said if the car's good for him, I mean, if this car works and it's the first time they're testing it on wet tires, then it might just blitz it all the way. But I do think, and I think it's wise and prudent to say that he needs to take his foot off the gas for at least 10 laps. If I was him, and it looks like we have the same kind of thinking.
So there was Lai Wei Sing behind the wheel in car 39. Leon Ku is just...
Oh, he's watching.
Yeah, he's
right,
watching.
okay.
So he will do the second stint.
Either that or he's doing a fantastic job from the pit to drive it. But yes, I think you're right. As I said, we're not given the exact combination as to who's going first and who's going second. And if Lai Wei Sing's in there, well, he's won in Malaysian Championship Series a number of times. Our engineering is the principal of it. He's going to know that car better than anybody else.
Going back to what Z said earlier, one of the first things that he mentioned was this is the condition that favors him. When it's a wet race, when he gets to use the slick tires.
But look at what's happened after 8 laps. Z has not been able to push past 231.852. It's the first time it hasn't gone purple. It's white, right?
Yeah.
231.852. Look at the cars behind him. They've all accelerated up to 233.501.
Yeah, all at least 2 seconds faster, yes.
So now, Z's advantage is just 2 seconds, yes. But over the space of 46 laps at 2 minutes each, they have plenty of time, and it's as I said, it's a rate of push. Whether you go 100% off the start, or whether you go 80% off the start, then 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, and I think that's what they're doing. If they are doing that, by the way, then it's genius, absolute genius. I think that just is a great way to maintain the peak optimal performance of anything, if you do it that way.
Z, of course, I was just following him on his socials, seeing what he was up to. He actually took part in a couple of street races and grabbed himself podium finishes. So he's always busy. He's always racing.
He's like Brad Pitt in the F1 movie. He basically
Exactly.
just races all the time.
I've
That's
never
great.
seen him have any other life outside the track.
Hold on a minute.
Just pure dedication.
This has got really interesting now.
That's like
This
we saying, and
this fight between Lai Wei-Sing
and car triple 2.
and Chang Chun-Shang,
That's
and we
for
think
podium. That's for podium.
it is for podium. And it's just got very, very interesting because Bay Racing, and that's how we should really talk about it, because we don't know if it's Ling or Chang in that car. They just got very close. They got close enough to have a pot just now. Now this is coming up to turn 15, so we're joining the battle when there is 0.5 of a second between them.
And that's because that Bay Racing team was just a fraction faster in terms of lap times, about 400th second faster. And we can see that it is just on the tail of that Honda.
Now it says that Mohammed Hafiz is 3.6 seconds behind them. Wasn't that him?
Wow,
just
Mohammed
now?
Hafiz with the fastest lap time. He's matched
Oh,
what Z
there you
earlier,
go. And look at that.
2:31.
Jonathan Z now down to a 2:34. 45 laps to
He's
go.
getting slower, G.
He's getting slower.
He's getting
exactly. Again, I go back to my point of rate of push. That's what it is. And he is, I said, fantastic driver. So many skills. Knows this track like the back of his hand, right? But loves to go fast. Loves to put his pedal to the metal. And sometimes that can push the car. You won't know. It's not like you suddenly push the pedal down and you blow the engine.
Yeah.
It's an incremental thing. And I think currently Papaya Bay R Engineering and Bay Racing 5512 as well, with that 231 they just put in. I think that they are executing perfect strategies because it's almost like they're all watching each other. They're going to stay here just like this, right? And this is the biggest one because these two are now lapping. Lai Wei-Sing is actually still lapping 0.3 of a second faster than Bay Racing at this point. So he is a master of defense. He's wonderful attacking the racing line as well. And he should be able to hold this situation. Again, Nick, if this was a 21-lap race, you'd have to hold the situation for 10 laps.
Yeah.
Right here, you're going to have to hold it for 20,
You gotta
25 laps.
think. You gotta think 3 times more the distance and 3 times more the
3 times more
durability.
distance, 3 times more the tire wear, and in terms of attacking and defending, you might have to spend 3 times more of the time available checking your back mirrors as well as looking out the front window.
But what
Much bigger.
I love about this race so far, we're just 10 laps in, but each and every one of these drivers in the TP category have shown at some stage of this race. Z, of course, currently leading. We saw how Arif has come into the 4 in second place. Lai Wei-Sing staying competitive, getting faster.
I think
Jiang Chongshang,
there's a quicker way of saying everything that you're saying, which is that the 5th place man in TP1 just went faster, than the top guy that's
currently
leading.
the fastest man on track, 230.
He's just hit 230-800. That's the last placed man in the class has just put in a faster lap than the fastest lap that was posted by the leader. How many times in F1 have you seen that?
Not many. In fact, this is the first time I'm seeing it in this race.
If any.
And it just shows how much is at stake, because it's double points.
It shows how much is at stake. It also shows the variance of these cars. It shows that if you catch it on a good line, on a good day, the sun's coming out, by the way, that roasting sun I was talking about before. If you do catch it, then there's a spread of maybe 5 to 7 seconds between those 7 cars, which takes me back to the first thing I said when this race started, that I think 7 cars on this track is perfect, because that's the spread you've got.
Yeah, and we get to see how everyone is progressing lap by lap. If we do not miss out on.
If you wanted to use football terms, it's like having a football league with 6 teams that could vie for the title. six players in any sport.
And what does that mean? It just makes for great spectatorship for everyone watching.
Well, it's actually, if you want to keep the football term, it's what Arsene Wenger wanted. Get rid of everybody else, you keep the top 7 teams out there and doing it. But in terms of what matters in motorsport, which is your time and your speed, they are all equally matched. They've all prepared well enough, whatever their strategies are. Whether it was Jonathan Z, who's now taken his foot off the pedal, he went down to 234, he's up to 232
but he's
now.
still having a healthy advantage. He's not dipped below that 16-second buffer that he had.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because that hasn't fallen, and the rest have got a lot faster, 5 seconds faster in terms of laps, means that he's just spinning the plate. He's just peppering it, keeping it simmering, and that 16 seconds might come in very, very handy when it comes to pit stop windows, for example.
Now, there's a notification that's flashing on our screen. I am not sure what it means for car 222 because they would have to report to race
That's
control
Bay Racing.
Immediately.
The team manager has to. Now, I don't think there was an infringement. We would have seen
Didn't seem
that.
like it, yeah.
But it could be that little tussle that we saw that actually drew our attention. I mean, I think that this one that's actually happening now, it got a lot closer than this.
Yeah,
fact
early
that,
on it got quite close.
They had a pop, so maybe there was a slight infringement there. Who knows? But you know what happens in those discussions between team managers and race control is 100% confidential and between them. You can find out about it on the official website after the race, post-race, if there's infringements or, well, I mean, we'll find out about it in terms of stop-and-go penalties, drive-through penalties.
We'll get that news
Yeah,
right
so,
away.
I mean, you know, we're very lucky. Mio and Arena are always saying this. We are very lucky up here because we get the incident, we get to see the incident, we know that it's being reviewed, and 80% of the time within the race, we will actually get the adjudication as well, and maybe even see it executed if it's a stop-and-go penalty or a drive-through.
We have an update. Z's lead has been slashed a further 2 seconds. The chasing pack are closing in on him.
Well, he also dropped.
And look who's posted the fastest lap time.
Yeah, so Lai Singh has put in a 2:29. This is now beginning to look like it is a rapidly drying race.
Yes,
You
they
can
all
see
taking
that.
turns.
Look at the light grey on the asphalt.
It is much, much drier now.
We've now had 1, 2, 3 different cars from the 5 who have had the fastest lap.
Yes, with the exception of car 222, this car, I think the rest have all taken turns to
Yeah.
those fastest lap times.
Again, when was the last time you saw that in a motor race? You got, you know, 5 competitors in
Amazing,
this
Mohamed
class.
Hafiz in the Toyota Yaris posting the fastest lap time. That for me has been the exception so far.
So again, it plays into exactly what I said. I asked earlier on, if I had to generalize and say which is a more reliable car, a Mercedes, a Toyota, or a Honda, or a Volkswagen, it's not the beginning of a joke which has a punchline at the end of it. They're all going at the same speed, right? They're all keeping a good distance from each other, so it is going to come down to reliability.
And what I like about this is it shows that it is a level playing field among our
But
five competitors.
it's not a level playing field like they've tried to do in the past. Like A1, for example, was not a level playing field. It was exactly the same car. That's how you usually can do it. This is, you know, 7 wildly different cars with wildly different handling characteristics, roughly the same engine and power capacity, obviously, coming up with roughly the same time. It's almost a
Exactly.
magic
So
trick.
they've inadvertently created almost a level playing field, and we are beginning to see it in this round. Because in
I
the
think so.
previous rounds, it was dominated by Ku. Z was there in the mix, but we didn't see much of Chia.
Okay, I do have to say that round 3 generally, remember this is the first time that it's 300 kilometers at round 3. Round 3 generally over the last few years, these guys that you can see on your screen right now have already got a pretty good idea from rounds 1 and 2 as to how to get the fastest time out of their car. So far, we have seen a very fair race. Nobody's done anything questionable at all. You could say Bay Racing, whatever they were called to the race control for, maybe. But so far, they are being able to output at the level that they want. And this is the level that we're talking about.
That's Arif closing in
snapshot.
Further on Z. That's only 11 seconds now.
Snapshot. The entire group, right? All 5 cars at this point in time are separated by 3 seconds. 2:29 to 2:32, or 2:31.
Yeah, and that's because
3
he has
seconds.
lost considerable.
Now, I know you're watching at home, these cars going, hold on a second, that's bigger than 3 seconds, that's big. We're not talking about distances between the cars, we're talking about average speed around the track. They're lapping within 3 seconds of each other, and there's still 41 laps to go. So reliability is going to come into this, whether it's tire reliability, whether it's engine reliability, or whether it's straight out driver reliability. One of those factors is going to come to the fore because the cars are all so evenly powerfully matched. It hasn't been artificially instigated either.
Z losing more time. Well, he's lost 7 seconds in the last 2 laps.
Look at the driving lines of both those 2 different cars, right? One's almost a hatchback and one's a saloon. And you saw the different way it cut through turns 1 and 2. That's the unique thing about turn 1 and 2 with the switchback. Now, as you get the power on, as you come up to turn 5, you can see the gap widening as well. That's what I mean. Every car is like a person. Different characteristics. You, as a driver, have to get in that car and get the best out of it. Right? And what we're seeing here is 5 drivers in TP1 at least. By the way, let me just stop and say.
Leon, rather live is saying with a 2:27.
God, it's getting, yeah, the track is definitely drying out, even though there are grey clouds over there. No, I said stop for a second because we have been waxing lyrical about TP1. In TP2, which are actually a lap back, their sector times are close, but look at the difference in lap time.
Yeah, that's because Xiao actually had to come in for that unscheduled pit earlier on.
So now you can say that Chao Tek-seong's car is definitely lagging behind. It's like a herd of animals going across the savannah, and one of them is beginning to lag behind. Now, is that a serious problem? Who knows? He's a lap back. That might even be from, I said he's been in the pits once, so he hasn't come in again since then. Leading his the class as well. So whether it was Ken Urata or not, it doesn't make a difference. Right now, he's not having the best of times. So this is, if I'm right,
this is for Ford. Hafiz currently just all over the back of Bay Racing.
Yeah. The very same car that was all over the back of Lai Wei Sing just a few laps ago. See that little kind of cloud of moisture that came off? That's how dark it's got, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are watching, as you can see, it is very grey.
Yeah, we just had a big overcast from where we are seated.
It's not just that, of course. It's it's not supposed to be dark at 1:48 in Malaysia. There's a lot of cloud cover up above. That, of course, may even hint to in this length of race, rain for 10 laps, maybe. We've been very lucky so far. No full course yellow incidents. Unfortunately, with all of them lapping so close together, and now the gap is 2 seconds, 2:29 to 2:27. In terms of speed, now they're lapping, there's a 9-second difference between Johnny Z and Papaya Pei. There is 6 seconds between Papaya Pei and third. Another 6 seconds between our engineering, who are in third, and Bay Racing. That used to be the big fight, remember? And then this, of course, happening now. That's 0.6 of a second. There is our leader.
What he has done well is to halt that slide of losing more time. So he's kept it at 9 seconds. Because what happened was you kept losing 3 seconds with each passing lap and allowed that papaya pay to come closer.
I think that was what I like to call in motorsports yo-yoing, where you
deliberately done.
Yeah, you put in 3 fast laps, and then you put in 3 medium laps, and then you put in 3 fast laps, and then you put in 3. That's another way of maintaining reliability and sustainability for your engine.
And just keeping in mind that his car
I said, there is
problems before this.
There is radio communication, obviously, but it's not at the level that you think. As long as he can keep it between 9 and 16 seconds, which is the 2 that we've seen, then he's got nothing to worry about.
And this will probably change the dynamics of the race because pit window is officially open. So we're going to see a lot of movements.
There he is.
Leon Kuhl looks excited. He can't wait to get behind the wheel.
Yeah, I'm sure he can't. Now, Bay Racing have seemed to have pulled away a little bit. Pit window is open, ladies and gentlemen. This is a, I said it as dramatically as that because it is where things radically change. Because now, of course, it's not just about the car that you have and the reliability that you have and the speed that they all have. It's about when. It's about when you decide to come in. And that's your choice. That's got nothing to do with the car.
Exactly, and for 3 teams, there's also going to be a driver change as well. And of course, those who are behind the wheel doing solitary drives for Z as well, it's got to be contending against different driving styles.
Well, I've seen Johnny Z do the 300k before. So,
he's always done it alone. I don't remember him
I've never ever seen him.
Perhaps doesn't trust anyone else but himself.
Yeah, I think maybe he may have actually driven an MTC with somebody else. Maybe.
Perhaps in the MTC.
But we'd have to check. Definitely in TP, he's always been by himself. But that comes into it as well. If you've got a teammate, maybe you can afford to actually have that communicate, whereas you go fast, you push, I normalize, you push, I normalize, you push, I normalize. Whereas if it's Johnny, he has to do both, because you can't just push this car for 54 laps straight.
Yeah, and it's 3 hours of constant driving.
Well, yeah, just over 2. It's about 2.5 hours, but still, you can't do it. You can't, put that, if you had to draw a line on a blank piece of paper, the spot at the top of it is 54 laps at 100%.
Yeah.
The spot at the bottom of it is 0. Okay, so somewhere along that line is where your win is. And it's not at the top, but it's not at the bottom, that's for sure. So Johnny is going to have to slow down. We've already seen him do it twice. He's currently yo-yoing, as I said, between 229 and 234. We've seen Lai Wei-Sing continuously get faster from 234 up to 227. Same for Bay Racing. Obviously, same for Hafez as well. I mean, look at him, he's on your screen right now. That's
great, 230.
Yeah, he's the one that had that stat, which was basically the last and the first were lapping at the same amount of time.
In fact, I don't think we may have just got ourselves a record. The man in the last position of that category posting the fastest lap.
I don't think it's a record here, but it certainly is an indicator of how competitive this championship is. Because that's what it comes down to. You can have the most amount of money in the world thrown at any championship. If you don't have that situation turning up, where the last guy can be as fast as the first guy, then, it doesn't matter. You're going to have what we had in F1 for a couple of years, which is 4 cars, 2 Ferraris, 2 McLarens, running a different race because nobody can catch them, right? Nobody can get up there. But not so here. It's not. You're not going to have back markers in this race because all 7 of them can put on the speed, and if they get the right brake, then they can also go on and win. It is getting very dark.
It's
wind
ominous
is picking
that
up.
we might see some rainfall.
Now, I'm thinking all these cars are on wets. It certainly looks like they are. You can always tell a wet tire because it's a little bit more squarer than a slick tire, which is of course rounded at the edges, but easier to do when they're in the pits, of course. I'll tell you one thing though, based on the historical pattern of rain up at Sepang, they'll get onto wet tires extremely quickly.
Yeah, and it's
not gonna
perfect
be-
time because they are all having to come into the pit anyway.
Yeah, I'm convinced now that it's going to start bucketing down, actually. If it hasn't already, I'm just going to have a quick look outside.
There is two partitions from our view. One side is a complete overcast, and on the left side we can still see a bit of clouds.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to just pick up if there's any... Well, okay.
Oh, that's a Chiao again back in the pit, but this time it's for a scheduled pit.
Yeah,
of
this
course,
is for
refueling.
refueling. Which will also give them time to have a look at, once again, why he's lapping at 3:30, 3:03. He's 20 seconds off the pace right now. Well, it said there his last lap was 2:55. It says up here, his last lap was 3:03. So, but either way, it's
Like we're saying, with the
not-
fastest lap time of 2:26, he's
Pushing.
yeah,
So you know,
pushing just before he finishes his stint.
you know, it might even be that they sat down and wrote down all the laps and said we're going to push between 10
That
and 15.
could have easily happened, yeah.
You know, 35 and 38, 40. But you can't do that. You have to keep an eye on everybody else, obviously. But if everything's going well, dry tires coming on. Well, I never ever thought that today's race would be so about, they're staying with dries. So, didn't that car have wet tires?
Yeah,
it
it
got,
did.
put- it got
Yeah,
had
that
wet
was the
tires
first
put
thing
on it.
it got
In the
changed to
first
wet.
bit. So, I hate to speculate. Are they changing and thinking? Because I told you there's going to be such a big difference between having a wet time and wet tire time and a slick tire time. So a lot can change based on that. And they are rapidly running out of laps as well.
He's running out of seconds to stay in the lead. Now just down to 6.5 seconds from 17 earlier.
Z has, even when pushing, only hit 229. Everybody else now.
Yeah, he slowed down.
There was a time when he was doing 231s, everybody else was doing 234s. Look at that, he's now the slowest man.
This could be the turning point for him in this race, Chief, because all the other teams are going to be changing drivers.
He's coming
going
in.
to come into pit as well, yes.
He's coming in in a
He's going
relatively...
to get a tire change
Actually,
for
you know
sure,
what?
refueling.
I think this is middle of the pit window. It's not start. It's close to the start, but it's not the start. Anyway, his best time was 229. Everybody else now in the division is
2 seconds faster than
is
him.
2 seconds faster. So that 9 seconds that he had, whatever, was going to be eroded anyway. May as well get yourself in the pits right now. Get those two refueling guys out. There's always two of the team that are allowed to push that refueling rig out.
Just gets himself a much needed breather. He's got 5 minutes to
Well, exactly.
engage in some sort of strategy,
And
conversation.
everybody else, as I said, has got to do exactly the same thing.
Just cooling him. Even with the temperatures not as hot, it's still it takes so much of a toll on these guys.
You should flip that and realize how hot it is when it's a hot day.
Exactly, yeah.
So there you go. Only 2 refueling attendants allowed to aid. Let's see. Refueling. I remember in the old days, and I'm talking early 90s, late 80s, was a very dangerous thing to have going on. And there were cars, you know, that would have huge plumes of flame if you got it wrong. That's why there are so many safety restrictions around refueling now. and why it is only allowed at certain times during endurance races. There was an era where you could essentially refuel as much as you wanted, but within the stipulated regulations, obviously. And that's an important point, that this pit window should see driver stint changes as well. So there should be a lot of people. There's roughly about an hour and a half of this race, maybe more, still to go. Also staying on dries. I think they're going to wait to see.
Well, to be fair,
It looks like it's
we
raining,
have a
right?
weather update. It's not as dark as it was 2 minutes ago. Skies
Yeah,
have cleared up just a little bit.
but every time I do look out the window, I for some reason see raindrops.
It was from earlier, I think. The residues have still not cleared. Dry tracks, as we can see.
It's going to make a huge, huge difference. And as I said, I never expected today's race to be, and I flew back from China to watch it, to be about tire selection. I actually thought it was going to be straight out reliability of engines, but it looks like there's going to be a huge advantage. So Papaya Pay in first place, absolutely, and they're on their outlap as well, but they haven't come in yet.
No,
So
they've
they
not come
haven't
in yet.
So it's not, they're not on their outlap.
And they're choosing to stay. In fact, I think of our 5,
I'll tell you who
they are
is.
the ones who have. The rest have actually all chosen to stay in.
yeah.
Only Z has came in. He's been the first.
Z is coming
So
early.
that's interesting as well.
Well, that means he's going to get a big jump on everybody else. He's now at 3 minutes, 34 seconds. You can see all the work that's happening. Funnily enough, that car's actually under investigation, this pit stop.
Wonder for what though? We did not see any.
Yeah, let's see.
any issues
Celio,
early on.
there's nothing serious that has happened to them because
And these guys would probably mirror each other in terms of coming into the pit. The likes of Papaya and our engineering, and also the Bay. And,
well, they've mirrored each
Five.
other in every other aspect of this race so far. But for Z, this pit stop is critical. It's fundamental. It's right at the foundation of everything. So if it's under investigation, you don't want to get a 60-second, 30-second penalty for your foundation stone. That is not going to help.
We will keep you updated on the outcome of that investigation. But it's surprising to see that car's under investigation. Perhaps it could have influenced his decision to also come into pit earlier.
It didn't look like it was anything serious. Though. It's out now, but yes, there's going to be a couple of people looking at that car. There you go. It could be he left. No, he's got to leave the pit lane at 5, and he's done that. 5:04, in fact. So it's not the time of the pit stop at all. Hafez has just come in to the pits. 5512 Racing have just joined the pits window. There you go.
I think for Hafiz, the feedback from the team is to just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep at it. And he's an opportunist, Hafiz. He sees an opportunity to overtake. He just needs to keep himself competitive.
It's interesting that Lai Singh is speeding up while everybody else is going into the pits. That's a good time to do that when you've got 5-minute pits.
Like we saying, absolutely relishing his time out on track.
And Papaya Pay also pushing the limit, 227, 226. Those are the 2 fastest cars on track at the moment.
Yep, so as we see these cars are preparing to come into pit, just to give you a recap of the point standings as we approach the almost halfway stage. Leon Koo leads the way on 71 points, Jonathan Z on 44 points, Mohammad Hafiz just 2 points behind Z on 42, and Arif on 40 points, Chiang is on 36. So between 2 and 5G, just 8 points separating them. There's really nothing in the context of double points this weekend.
That's the thing. Double points this weekend. Anything can happen.
And these are our engineering just coming into the back of that A45. So 1.5 seconds. Will they both come into pit here?
Well, this is it. So Hafiz is currently at 2 minutes on his pit stop. He's still got a good 3 minutes of...
So Papaya has come into pit.
Well, our leader...
Our engineering choosing to stay out there.
Very, very interesting. Indeed.
And the driver change will happen as well for that car number 8. So
all the drivers patiently waiting to get into those cars again. As I said, it's going to be an interesting next 10 laps for me after the pit window to see where and how everything. I mean, these are sizable pits that comes into it. So the only person who hasn't been in right now is Lai Wei Singh, our engineering. So he is the undisputed late pit window taker, right? That's definitely the last part of the window. Johnny Z, you could say he came in early. I reckon it was a little bit middle. Everybody else was middle. That's the car, which has been putting in a 2:26.122. It is now leading at 33 laps to go. So you look at the 3 different phases of the race that we've seen so far with Johnny Z up front, then Papaya Pay up front, now our engineering up front, all based around the pit window.
Yep.
And I'll tell you one thing, the man driving this car right now, the owner of that car, the owner of that team, is a very smart man. Okay?
Indeed. I can see what he's trying to do.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, just to create as big a buffer as possible for Leon Koo. And when Leon gets in the car, we all know what's going to happen. He's just going to extend that lead and create an even bigger buffer, even bigger advantage. As we see Arif Hanafi are getting behind the wheel. So there was Fadzil Alang earlier on doing so well to come into pit in second place.
Yep, he's certainly... Well, Johnny Z's just put in a 2:24. That's the fastest we've seen from him. He was at 2:29.
So he's back on the ascendancy, Z.
Oh, fresh tires, isn't it?
Yeah, fresh tires, refuel,
fresh fuel. Yeah, he can start gunning that engine once again, exactly the way he wants. So he's now going to yo-yo back up again. That's...
Lai Wei Singh choosing to stay out a little while longer.
Yeah, pushing it right to the max.
Because he's in a great momentum, Lai Wei Singh, 2:27 in his last lap.
You just said the magic word. That's exactly what it's about.
He's
momentum, overall momentum of the team.
Not going to want to...
Well,
Fadzil Alang, all right.
It is that time of the race where we can get down to the pits, and the guys have managed to pick out one of the drivers. Very important one as well. Fadzil Alang from Papaya Pay. Let's hear from him.
Down here together, just speaking out to Fadzil Alang, who just came in for the first pit stop for his team. Arif is now and they are now taking over the baton, not continue for the next part of the journey. Firstly, nak tanya you Fadzil, because of the track condition kan, tadi hujan lah, ada basah lah, and then dah cerah balik semua and everything. The iffiness, or should I say the uncertainty of the weather, how does that play in your mind sebenarnya?
The track surface super tricky. So So lucky I dengar nasihat dia, choose the right tire.
Okay.
Alright, but still it's like some dry, some wet. So we have to gamble for the slick tires. Super tricky, but we try to maintain the pace, try to be safe, complete the lap. And then, yeah, I think just now we are catching up Jonathan Z, but more race to go.
Okay, and we could actually see sebenarnya from the data that we've seen for all the races actually, it has been an average of about 2:27. Leon Ko has actually clocked in the fastest lap at 2:26. Can we expect a faster lap later on? The fact that now, I mean, granted, you guys just did refueling as well, so that obviously plays a factor. But 2:27, 2:28, that's the standard average that you can actually perform today.
Yeah, I think we are target for that pace because we have to manage our tire as well.
Yeah.
So we can push, but so that's why we just comfortable with 26, 27.
Yeah, speaking about tires, I mean, like looking at how round M1 and round 2 was previously, the tires obviously play such an important role, and we've seen a lot of blowouts also happen to you as well. You ada pengalaman tu, I think it was round 1 kan?
Yeah.
Yang hari tu.
Basically every round.
Every round. So the fact that kali ni is endurance race 300 km, a lot more attention needs to be given for that.
Yeah,
so any secrets on that? Macam mana you nak manage that? Again, you nak aggressive sangat pun tak boleh apa semua. Middle point tu, where do you stand?
So we try to control our driving, and then of course we make some changes on the setup. So as you see, before this, it's only 13 laps. So now I did 21 laps, 22 laps just now. So that's very good result for us. The indicator for us that we can push to the end of the race.
Okay, insyaAllah. So we do want to hope that, you know, you come out from the race all clean, and hopefully kita jumpa on the podium lah.
Inshallah.
Alright, lovely, insyaAllah. Okay, lovely. Back to you, gents.
That's a nice, interesting view from one of the drivers you were favouring right at the start of the race.
Yes, Fadzil Alang, and that last remark he made there, you know, that they have done so favorably with the car and now they can push. Him saying that about the Mercedes A45 on the second half of the race has got to be a warning for the rest.
Well, yeah, and you also see firmly now which half of the race was the foundation stone of their strategy. And that's what I mean. It could be that for Johnny Z, it was the first half of the race, I mean, building up that 16 seconds. Of course, remember, we still have the outcome of that pit stop investigation to come, and that is hanging, just like all the other clouds around the circuit, right above us. Yes. Nobody else has gone to any trouble about their pit stops, by the way. Everybody else, Papaya Pay 506, Bay Racing 501, Johnny Z was on time 504, 55 502. But the point I'm making is only Johnny Z is under investigation for that pit stop. So what happened? Was it entering the pit lane too fast? That can get you.
There's another car, Chiao Teng Song, I think from earlier as well. Team manager.
Well, that could be for a number of reasons, couldn't it? It could be for coming into the pit stop twice already. It could be for, you know, well, they didn't leave anything on the track, or else it would have been a full course yellow. It could have been, why are you changing your tires so much from slicks to wets to slicks to wets? Who knows? But something's happened there. I don't think the word investigation is not involved there. The word investigation is involved with car number 17.
Exactly, yeah, that's a more severe word, so to speak. And we can see now that our current category leader finally gets his turn behind the wheel. Leon Koo is going to now take this home, hopefully in his mind.
Well, 31
Lai
laps.
Seng has looked to have done enough, given him the car in pole position.
It's amazing to think about the different strategies, interweaving and intertwining. They've come out of the pits. You can't really take the pit times as it stands now in any real significance, because I said there's outlaps, there's people coming in, they're dealing with the, I think it's 60 or 80 kilometers in the pit lane. So you got to wait a couple of laps, but I think our engineering are going to come out on top for sure.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out guns blazing, especially Leon Koo. We know how he is. He's always out fast and furious, and especially so now that he has a lead to defend. He's going to want to try and really pull away as much as possible as Z looks to try and perhaps get that advantage. Get himself in the lead before Ku comes out.
So the cars now currently, just an update on TP2. That looks like it's a dead fish. I mean, it looks like it's done. Chao Tek-song is a full lap behind Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan in the other R Engineering car, but there is not going to be a battle there because, well, I mean, the lap times are, there's about a 10-second spread between them. And there's that lap. As I said, that's a big
there's
thing.
one full lap for Chao to make up.
Yeah, we've got, he's had enough problems, whether they are significant, critical, or absolutely terminal. He's had enough problems to put him out the running. I think that's the...
Oh, Z's done it. He's actually come out in front before Ku can get on his out lap. So,
I know, that's good. That's not bad.
That's good for him. That's good in terms of his morale. That's good. It might give him more confidence.
They should all be on the same lap. Yes, they are on lap 23, all of them. So that's good. But, well, as I said, we're going to have to wait for this computer on the timing transponders on the cars to settle down after every single one of those cars is off its out lap for about one lap. So on the 29th lap, I reckon we can get a good understanding of what the next and very crucial 10 laps are going to be like.
Yeah, and that would be a halfway point of contention. 27 laps in. So we are four laps away from the halfway stage of this race. All right, we're going to go down to the pits for an interview with car number 888.
Now I'm with car 888 for the TP2 category. I have Junji here, and your cousin is actually out on the tracks, Yuhan. Now, I have to say, is this your first MTCC race?
It is for sure. It is my first race. Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel about the race so far?
It's pretty good, the class is pretty empty. We're just chilling. We're just gonna do our best just to see what we can actually achieve. So yeah.
Okay, and have you raced with Yuhan before? Because I think a lot of our viewers at home have never seen you guys in action, and we want to see, we want to know how's your chemistry like with Yuhan. Do you guys have a good partnership on the tracks?
Yeah, we do. We live together, we work together. He's my cousin, but he's also like my best friend. So yeah, it's our first time racing together. Yep.
But what do you think about the races so far? Do you think Yuhan has a very good chance at keeping the first place position and probably up to podium as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off with slicks, and then it was raining. I think my competitor pit. So I was saying, I just got to give this a try, and thankfully that played out okay. So we saved a lot of times on the pit. So yeah.
Amazing. How do you feel about the car? Because I think this is the first time we're seeing you in the car on the tracks of Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Do you think you've gotten a good grip of the car? Are you still learning in the progress while you're on race?
So it's actually quite funny because we're actually driving an auto car rather than a manual car. So it's a bit slower on the top speed, but yeah, I think we'll manage. So yeah.
It's really, really interesting to see you guys on tracks. I love interviewing family members. We also have like a father-daughter, father-son duo at times. Yeah. So it's nice to see the cousins doing great on tracks. Yeah. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Back to Nick and G.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, getting a lot of good insights from the drivers today, and I think that's the sun peeking out. Crazy, crazy weather conditions. It's the only way I'm going to say it. I'm not going to be diplomatic about it. I'm not going to pull any punches. Absolutely insane weather conditions happening here at the Sepang International Circuit today for MTCC Round 3 300-kilometer endurance race.
Interesting what Junji mentioned about the transmission that he's on auto as compared to the rest of the field whom we presume are on manual transmission. And of course, yes, like he mentioned, they may lose their top speed traction, but in terms of corner handling and also overtaking, there is not much that goes into it, especially when you're on automatic transmission, because it's just about managing the brake and the acceleration, as opposed to those who are on manual transmission, where you also got to manage the clutch.
So we're going to get back to you in just a bit. We're going to take a break now, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back with the MTCC 300 kilometer round 3.
And also overtake.
The ultimate. Main technical partner for Lamborghini Super Trofeo. Ventus. Hungop Tire.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the endurance race round in the MTCC Championship this year, 2026. Usually it's on round 4. Today, or this season, it's round 3. And as you can see, we're picking it up with 29 laps to go. Now, these 7 cars that have been battling it out on track, I did say that at 29 laps, we're going to get a very good understanding of, with 20 laps to go, we're going to get a very good understanding of how this this race has been evolving. And I can tell you that Jonathan Z is back up at the top. He raced off from the start and picked up a 16-second lead. Now that eroded a little bit, and then we got to the pit window, which as you can see is still open. All of them have now come in, the top 5 in TP. Just quickly, we'll just summarize TP2. Jason Chow Xiong in the R Engineering 11 car had a bit of a nightmare. I mean, it wasn't serious, thankfully, and there wasn't any damage to the car or himself, but he has dropped very low out the running. He's actually 1 lap back from the only other car that's in that class, which is the other R Engineering car, the 888 car. Now, meanwhile, the other 5 in this 300-kilometer race for TP, Touring Production, well, they have, Nick, as you saw, been trading fastest laps. Now, currently, they've all come out of the pit window, and once again, there's just 2 seconds between them for lap times, 2:26 to 2:28.
Yeah, it's been a great first half of this 300-kilometer race, as you mentioned. They've been trading quickest lap times, and it's made for a competitive and compelling affair. Yes, we see Z currently holding 11-second lead, but I think that's going to change. I think we may see a new leader. I think we may see Chiang come into the mix. Hafiz for sure is going to come into the mix.
Well, I mean, they could do, except now, Johnny Z, as you can see, just when they come up to turn 5 now, you're going to see the sun reflecting off the windshield because it has been peaking in and out. Okay, there you go. You just saw it on the side of the car, right? It is beginning to have an impact. If this turns into a dry track, you can just see the differences in gray on the track as to where it's a bit more moist and it's a bit more dry. The racing line right smack in the middle of it. There it is. You can see it on the windscreen. The sun is coming out. That sun is going to lead to a different last 20 laps. So as it stands right now, Johnny Z might just go even faster.
Yes,
because
faster,
he's got
more
good,
risk-taking.
Yeah, he's got fresh.
Oh, car
that's
number 11.
That's Chao Tae-xiong. So As
There
I
was
said,
the 60-second penalty.
as I said, they were already running slow. They were one lap back. Now they have a 60-second time-added penalty. It's Article 27.14 in the sporting technical regulations. So that is the leader of TP2 that has had, well, just the worst luck today.
And this actually goes back to what happened in the last round, because if you remember, he was also slapped with a 30-second penalty, which ended up him surrendering top spot to Kanurata at that time.
So this means that the TP2 class has been blown wide open.
Yes, it
for
has.
round 4.
It has. It's a pity that Kanurata's not here, because he would have.
He would have loved that.
He would have loved that. He would have overtaken
absolutely
Chiao.
loved that. But he's going to have a chance, as I said. Instead of having the 300-kilometer race as usual in the 4th round to finish the season as a finale, now it is a cat amongst the pigeons. It's the start of the second half of the season, which means there is going to be another chance, round 4, to try and, in essence, make amends. As I said, a lot of these titles, for example, are engineering's title, and that's how we've got to put it. It's not necessarily Leon Ku by himself, it's the team.
It's the team, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and they are in second right now, so they're going to be picking up 24 points. You remember, it's 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that's global touring car scoring, you know, in any touring car class you find around the world. So double points means 30 points is great. 24 points is pretty good if you're already leading at 71.
Look at Hafiz, just look how close he is to Jiang. He's just not going to let up, and he might just have a pop.
He's been slowly but surely edging up. He's been having a little peek here and there on the inside and outside. Now that the sun's coming out,
he's just gotten much faster as well.
I think that car's going to be handling a lot better in the corners, especially this one. Look at that, how it grips the inside.
Yeah, the Yaris has proven himself to be almost an expert in this tight corner management.
I'd be very surprised if he did it here with a bit of late braking in 9 and 10. Patience is the main word here.
We've officially reached the halfway stage of this race. 27 laps to go.
He's faster. By a hundredth of a second. Yep. 1/100th of a second, he is faster. So he has the power to get through. And this is just great defending by Bay Racing at the moment that's keeping them out of being taken. You know, it might not seem like much, 100th of a second, but when it comes to a tight corner, then you do get that extra pull just there, right there. The tug on the inside as you come out of the slipstream. Then decides to go for the fastest line, which is following his opponent. It's not ducking out of a chance, it's being patient, and I said that's really, really important on this track.
Such a crucial...
I can't stress how important it is to be patient.
Crucial criteria to have patience in the context of an endurance race.
I mean, on this track especially, you need to have patience. I think it was one of the great drivers, Tunku Jiang, actually said, right place, right time, right move, and you're getting through. That was during Toyota Gazoo racing and some of those Vios Cup. It was actually during the Vios endurance.
Ooh, Hafiz might have a pop here.
I told you, he's going faster. He's, you know, the Speed Force, as the Flash would call it, has nominated him as being ahead. So it's just great defending that we're seeing from Bay Racing at the moment. Now we are getting to very close to a situation of one complete MTCC round, 21 laps. Okay, so if the cars have made it so far, it doesn't suddenly mean, oh great, they're going to finish, because it's one. You've got to add that on to what they've just done. But it is a very, how can I say, very familiar strategy for them.
Yeah, and it's such an ideal situation for all 5 competitors, because they only separated by 27 seconds. I've hardly seen such a tight affair in the context of a 300-kilometer race.
Yeah,
And now that the timings are all regulated.
Hold on a minute there, Nick. Hold on. He had a very good look and got half a car length there.
And
I
decided to
think
brake.
he's going to go again. I said everyone's been very fair to each other today, which is really good to see. There's been
love to see some action like this now finally unfolding, where you're putting intense pressure.
What you're seeing is a 100th of a second every lap. 100th of a second. It's about a foot on your screen now. It's about a foot in front of the car, foot in front of the car, foot in front of the car every lap.
Or perhaps here on the inside for Hafiz. Yes, he's done it.
Now it's a straight line speed. You see, look at that. Look at the Honda. Look at that Civic go. That's why it's such a great car. That's why it's such a great chassis, because it's so difficult to get past. Braking
this is
here.
what he loves to do, Hafiz, to come on the inside, coming into turn 15.
Braking. The Toyota looking good, hugging the back bumper of that Honda. But I think the Honda's going to have...
He'll be happy with that, Hafiz, just to stay very much in contention, just to keep himself as close.
Nick, here's something for you to think about. You said Ken Urata wasn't here today. What if he is here today in the shape of Bay Racing 222? Because the kind of defending that we are seeing right now from Bay Racing has got Ken Urata's signature all over it.
Bear in mind, Jim, this is a different proposition for Hafiz, because earlier I think it was Chiang and perhaps now it's Ling Guang Yu. So it's a different competitor that he's going up against, different driving style.
But these battles, imagine a mountain, okay, at the start of the race. And at 6 different points around the mountain, or 7 different points around the mountain, there's a different car, okay? And they're all going up to the summit. Right now, as the closer they get to the summit, this is where the battles turn up. They all had similar... Look at the times we're talking about. 2:26.685 from Johnny Z. 2:26.806 from, that would be Leon Koo now, right?
Yeah.
2:28, 2:29, 2:28.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. They're all so tight.
Everybody is getting to the summit, and it's around now, when we get to that last hour window with the 21 laps, that reliability is going to come into it. But I think in a straight line, that Honda is going to win every time. I really do. I think
and all the Toyota needs to do is just to try and stay as close as possible and try and nick it at the corners, because it's at the tight turns where Hafiz has found a lot of joy.
The Toyota is going to... Look, I mean, you can just see the way it's set up as a car, the way it's designed as a car. It's almost a Swift. It's almost... I said it's almost a hatchback. It's a little bit more in terms of power, but
that's where he does it. He lost a bit of speed there, and just as we spoke, during the corners.
Wide line, brake late. Now he's going to have to do a bit of hardcore defending, because the Honda can still, there you go, look at that, just powers past again. Now, is he going to hold the inside line? Has he got half a car?
Hafiz will hold the inside line for sure.
He's got more than that's beautifully done, Hafiz. That's beautifully done.
He loves that, Hafiz, that sweeping turn. We've seen him do it so many times, turn 15, 14.
I do that to cars on Jalan Tun Razak all the time, okay? And I don't mean that in an illegal way at all. I'm always getting half a car on everybody.
Following road regulations, traffic regulations, of course.
Following JPJ, traffic regulations.
That's our race control.
Exactly.
Or non-race control. The road control.
They are city control. Yeah, they are. They're nation control. But as I said, what he did there was absolutely perfect. I've seen a lot of cars defend turn 15, lesser powered cars defend against superior powered cars, but he just kept his line, kept half a car, realized the way these two cars are going to, as I said before, they're not F1 cars. You can't just pick 6 different racing lines. He knew where that car was going to swing into. So, as you can see...
Yeah, he did not overcommit on that turn.
No,
just kept his cool, kept the braking.
Pulling away. He's pulling away.
I think he managed that brake, that braking precision so well.
Well, you see, once you come through, and he has come through, now that cornering ability that did so well for him beforehand is going to really start working. He now honestly have a look at the A45 ahead of him.
And he definitely will have a look and
Well, let's
have a go at Arif.
Let's crunch the numbers here. So he is currently lapping at 228.917. The Papaya Pay A45 is lapping at 228.899. So
And this is how it happened. You see, that Honda just losing a bit of speed.
combination of two things. Bay Racing was so busy looking in his rearview mirror that he went wide on the line. That helped the Toyota come through, but the Toyota, of course, a little bit of power, he can power through the corners, then ghosted him, essentially just drifted
And
past
then coming
on the
into
inside.
turn 15 as well, which he managed so well, and he's looked to put a bit of daylight there.
Well, now, as I said, you know, he can start pushing now. Looking back at Bay Racing, he was lapping 100th of a second faster beforehand. He's now lapping 300 seconds faster. 300ths of a second faster. 917 and 6. No, in fact, it's almost. Hold on a minute. Bay Racing is actually dropping.
Yeah, Hafiz seems to be
dropping,
pulling
yeah.
away because
For a second, it
after
was
he got that
229.
lead, he seemed to have pulled away and 3 seconds in one lap.
For a second, it was
an advantage.
229, and now it's 231. Now, it could have been that on that corner he missed a gear. If he missed a gear, that would explain 3-4 seconds. Then reconnected his gear, and is now up to speed again. But then that should mean that we should see that Bay Racing 222 car come up to 228, 229 within the next lap. If it doesn't, then it wasn't a gear problem.
And Z, we finally see him after such a long time earlier, holding currently an almost 13-second advantage.
So
Zhu
again,
looking to make up ground. He still has a lot of time.
For us up here, and for me and Arena down in the pits as well, it's very easy at the start of the race, and we'll do it again tomorrow, to visualize the strategy, to think about where it's going to go, but we've got no facts, right? Now that we've got 23 laps to go, that's 31 laps completed, Johnny Z was 16 seconds ahead on lap 7, lap 8, okay? He's 12 seconds ahead on lap 31. Perfect strategy. Yo-yoing or not, he's ended up at the right place at the right time. Everybody else, our engineering, you know, this is after the pit window. So basically,
that decision to come in early, it looks to have paid off so handsomely for him because it has allowed him to create that buffer, to get that tire change and that refuel change.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, as I said, they could have had the choice. It's not a fixed strategy. You don't write it down at the beginning of the race and lock it up in a safe and say we're sticking to it forever, like 12 secret spices at a very famous fast food restaurant. It changes, okay? And it changes on everybody else and what they're doing. They made a very brave decision to stay with that and come in early. And as you said, it has paid off handsomely for them because so far that car running at 226.859 does not look.
Don't
like
forget,
it's having
Chief,
any-
when he came out on his out lap, the first lap, he posted the 224.
Yeah.
So he came out guns blazing. He's got that confidence and
Yo-yoing again. He's
Yeah.
yo-yoing again.
I think psychologically as well for Z, you know, this is a great time for him to now just try and come home with the first win of the
now,
season.
That exact line that you said.
Don't think too far.
No. That exact line that you said, and you can quote me on this and go and check the tape. I have not said today because I've seen Johnny Z.
No, true,
I've seen
true.
it all go wrong.
True.
Okay, and I hope the best for him. And it is a perfect strategy so far. But the thing about MTCC, the thing about MCS before it as well is, we've seen things happen in the last corner.
Yeah, and in the context of a 1,000-kilometer race,
15,
not even
yeah,
a 300.
Exactly. Turn 15, we've seen things go wrong. We've seen turn 14 on the last lap, things go wrong. We've seen engines blow. We've seen shunts. We've seen every type of motoring incident you could think of, other than people getting out, changing their own tires, happen. Now, talking of things that happen at MTC, C rounds. Let's have a look back at the first hour. Well, yeah, funny enough, Nick, it looks exactly the same as it does now. But there was a lot of water. Look at the water on the end. So this is the exact bit of skidding already. Look, this is only lap
Fueling.
and it's stopped, but it's cloudy. So you know the sun is not there.
I think we spoke about the Honda.
Bay Racing at this point. So he is.
We are beginning to see it in this round. Because 2 seconds faster than
It's
him.
2 seconds faster. So that line
Ruling him.
place, absolutely. And they're on the.
I wonder for what though. We did not see any.
I
any
sincerely
issues
hope
early on.
there's nothing. He's got to leave the pit lane at 5, and he's done that. 5:04, in fact.
Gonna extend that lead and create an even bigger buffer. Even done so favorably.
10-second spread. He's had enough problems to put him out the running. I think that's the.
Oh, Z's done it. He's actually come out in front before Koo can get on his up.
More in terms of power, but
That's where he does it.
Go.
He lost a bit of speed then, just as we
Wide line,
spoke.
Yeah. On a minute. Bay Racing is actually dropping.
Yeah.
So there you go. Nick, I just have to ask you, who are those guys?
Sounded familiar.
It's the famous Butch Cassidy and Sundance line. Who are those guys? Wonderful. Look back at the first hour, and as you can see, we've had a very interesting situation here at the 300-kilometer TP2000 round 3 race of MTCC 2026. That is that all 5 cars in TP1 have been matched almost second for second for lap times throughout the race so far. That's the first 33 laps. They've all been within 2 to 3 seconds of each other. This just highlights how good Jonathan Z is doing right now, because he was 16 seconds ahead at the start. He went in first, took a brave decision to go into the pit window first, which is open and closed, by the way, if you've just joined us. And he's come out ahead of our engineering. Remember what our engineering was doing in that pit window? Charging ahead at 226, 226, 226. For a while, they were trying to make up that gap there. But they came out, everybody has to spend 5 minutes in. They all did. We still have to hear, we haven't heard any news, no news is good news, about that pit stop investigation for Jonathan Z's
correct.
17 car. You know, that was up on our screens for a while.
And in fact, there was even a caution for car number 8. I think he needed to report to race control.
I was
That
at the
part by
manager.
RP.
That was the manager, though, right?
Yes, correct.
As I said, the race control are an enigmatic bunch. They really are. In the fact that every word counts, and if it's report to race control, that's very different from under investigation. And so we will keep you updated with all of the determinations and adjudications that come out from race control when they come out. Right now we haven't heard anything. So, you know, they can be anything. They can be a 30-second stop-go penalty. It can be a drive-through penalty. Or, that's looking at the negative side of it, the positive side of it, no further action. It could be that. They're still thinking about that. Johnny Z was the only car, number 17 car, that is under investigation. Number 39, number 8, 100, and 222. The rest of the field in TP1 all came out with, as they say in England, mint pit stops.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was
mint.
saying that psychologically, I'm sure it has worked wonders for Z, having to come out on top with that advantage and free of any car troubles so far. So it has all gone according to plan for him.
Well, we are getting to, we're now within the regulation distance, I should say, of a single MTCC round, which is 20 laps. And, you know, that's 20 laps times 5.53, that's roughly 100 kilometers left to go. Okay, and so you look at the times that we've got now. Johnny Z in that 17 car and the R Engineering car of Laiwi Singh and Leon Koo are the 2 cars that are...
No further action.
No further action. There you go. I did say
So even better news for Johnny Z.
Yeah, no,
it looks like the clouds have aligned for him.
The team are going to be very, very happy with that. Of course, we don't know why it was called in anyway, but that's not the point. It is not for us the reason why. It is for us to commentate and keep commentating, I guess. So, you know, the only two cars that are it are Johnny Z and that R Engineering 39 car, because 20 laps to go at 2 minutes per lap, right? That's how much we've got. But at 2 seconds between them, that's 40 possible seconds that you can pull up. Leon Koo is 32 seconds behind, or 12. I think it's Arif and Fadzil that are that should be 30 seconds back. Are they coming around the front now again?
I think the difference between Z and Chiang in 5th place is about 30 over seconds.
Yeah, so basically,
really
I mean, now it's, there you go, 32 seconds, that's the one I was waiting for. So, for Arif and Fadzil, if they now lap at 2:26 for the rest of this race, they should catch Johnny Z. That's what I'm saying, because 32 seconds, 19 laps to go, you're lapping 2 seconds faster, you make up 40 seconds. You're on the same lap, right? For Leon Koo.
Oh, that's an unscheduled pit for Chiang. It looks like car troubles for him. Or rather, Ling Guang Yu behind the Bay Racing car. Who
Are we sure? Are
off.
we sure it's Ling Guang Yu that's behind? I said for Bay Racing, yeah, there's that is an unscheduled stop, and it looks like a splash and dash. That's a refueling stop. Splash and dash before the end. Splash and dash.
Get confirmation of the pit window. There's of course 2 pit windows that happens, and yes.
Yeah, pit windows open now.
This is officially then the 2nd pit window.
Well, this is the really important pit window because, and that's not taking anything away from the first one, but the fact is this is the splash and dash window. They're going to be running out of refuel, whereas the first window had more of a tire-based feel about it. This one has more of a fuel-based feel about it because you want to have the right amount of fuel in it before this last stint by your last driver for what will essentially be the win, the 2nd, or the 3rd. And right now that win is going to be between 17 and 39.
So Bay Racing, the first team into the pit, I'm sure we'll be seeing the rest come in real soon. Most of them will be coming in for, of course, a fuel top-up, a tire change as well. Tires have really taken a lot of beating in both wet and dry surfaces. Time for the garage team, just waiting for the respective cars to pull in. So 5 minutes to get your orders in a fair before they go out to complete this race. 18 laps remaining. Jonathan Z in the lead in the TP category, and this car, 888, it has a 1 lap advantage, or rather this is a car 222 Bay Racing team that has came in first in the 2nd pit window. Podium is not out for reach for a Bay Racing team. Of course, we get a confirmation of how far they are behind once they get on the outlap. But like we were talking about this entire race, all 5 of our competitors, they're not separated by much, less than a minute. And in the context of a 300-kilometer race, that isn't much because a lead can change in a split second. One delayed turn a slip of concentration and you find yourself trailing. No such issues for Z so far. He's been in immaculate form since coming out of pit. Everything has gone his way. The car's held up.
We don't find ourselves saying that very often about Jonathan Z and the Scuba Racing team, but yes, congratulations to them. Not just everything is gone, everything out of control has gone well for them, but everything in their control has also gone very well for them.
And that's most important, that they can control whatever is in their control.
We don't know if, they sat around last night and said it would be good if we could maintain between a 12 and 16 second gap. If they did, then they're absolutely bang on the money.
I think they would have taken it if they had that opportunity.
If they had that opportunity perfectly, as I said, because, that is within the estimation of the reliability of the car, and it's always an estimation of the reliability of the car. You don't exactly know. If only cars could talk to you like kids from Knight Rider and tell you exactly what they're going to go through.
Xiao Song, the second man in pit.
Third time in the pit.
Third time in the pit, one unscheduled
And I have to say that that Bay Racing car was in the pit. There it is now, coming out. Was in the car. It was in there for.
That's perfect. 5 minutes.
That's right. That's exactly 5 minutes coming out. Yeah, good. Well done.
So no surprise that Z and Ku are choosing to stay out there.
Well, this is interesting for Z especially because Z was early in the first pit stop and now is decided to come out late. So maybe they don't think 12 seconds is enough, but it worked well the first time. And as you can see, that both of those cars, the top two, 17 and 39, I'm going to leave you to crunch the numbers as to the championship based on this now, because this might be your final classification. You got Johnny Z picking up 30 points. That's going to put him on 71.
Yeah, Z is currently on.
I think he's on 41.
Yes, he's on 41.
So he would pick up 30 for this and be on 71. Leon Ku would pick up 24 for this.
Z is actually on 44, so that would give him 74. But Leon will still be on top because he picks up.
He'll pick up 24 points.
Yeah, exactly.
So how he would then be on 95, if I'm right?
Yes, that's right. 95.
95 takes on 74, going into the last round, which is going to be 15 points.
But the third and fourth would be interesting because Hafiz and Arif are only separated by 2 points. Yeah, Hafiz, of course, leading in third place.
What I'm saying here is that Leon Ku and Lai Wei Singh could basically win the championship right here. Because...
Well, there is still another round.
Yeah, but it'll be 15 points. Oh, no, it'll be 30 points. You're right, because it's 2 races. So it will come down to the wire.
It will be extremely tight.
It will be extremely tight.
If Z wins it here,
74 and 95. So
he will throw the championship wide open.
So
the lead that Ku had built will be diminished.
Let's put it this way: if our engineering, because that's the team, Leon Ku's team, get 95 points after this weekend, and Jonathan Z is on 74, right? That's 21-point difference. It means that our engineering will have to win both races.
We'll have to win both races and hope
in round 4 and hope that Johnny Z has another DNF here and there. Here he is, Johnny Z. He's now come in. So far, so good, Johnny. Yes. He heard us. He's listening to us in the helmet, I can tell.
Well, it's.
But you see,
it's a grand thought. It's a grand thought to think that the championship could go down to the last weekend, but
you said
it could well happen.
He had 2 DNFs in a round. If that can happen, it could happen again. Yes. And if it happens again, and Leon Ku does what he did, which is get a double, then that's it. It is done and dusted. So it isn't that they can win it this weekend.
Unless Ku wins this race, and then it's over.
Yeah, if Ku wins this race, then it is over. Absolutely over. Which is why this shot on your screen right now of Johnny Z drinking is so important. Because how this goes, okay, not the cooling and not the drinking, but how it goes when he gets back in the car is going to determine whether there is a fight.
Yes,
in
he has
round
16
4
laps
or
to
not.
determine if he wants to take this championship
I can tell
to
you
the
now,
final round.
I can tell you now he wants to take it to the final round. There's no doubt about that. Whether he has the capability to take it to the final round is the question. And that comes down to these guys
Yes.
who you see around the car.
Well, I think the car setting has been great from the Scuba race team, of course.
While we're on it, you saw the A45 in the background. How quiet have they been?
Yeah.
How quiet has Papaya Pay been in the last 15 laps? They were always at the front of the pack. You know, we saw them
Yeah, he's
leading
a
off.
bit subdued since Arif took over.
Yeah, I think that, as I said, and you know, harks back to what I said right at the start of the race. If you had to generalize which car is heavier, which car is more, you know, the A45 is a very powerful car for sure, but it's a different type of engineering. Absolutely different.
Leon coming in, the final driver to come in of the lot.
Again, our engineering opting for a late when it comes to both pit windows. Johnny Z and Scuba going for an early mid. Yeah, early mid. Didn't come in really early for the second one. And everybody else, well, everybody's done 2 now, with the exception of Chow Taek Song, who's done 3. And of course, that's a different class. As I said, the 888 car of Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan has already effectively won TP2. There's no stopping that now. I think it's 3 laps
Yeah,
ahead.
3 laps lost for the ground, Chiao.
You know,
really the last 2 races.
they would have to literally stop the car for 3 laps and let Jason Chow come back into it. So that championship has also been thrown wide open.
Is that crew refueling himself?
No, it isn't. It looks like it, but it isn't. I said there's 2 guys that manage the tank and 1 guy that actually puts the stuff in. But yeah, that does look. There's just no.
It looks like Gu he's doing it all on his own.
It isn't 1985 anymore, or even in fact in 1985 there was other people refueling as well. Oh, hold on.
Transponder issues, perhaps?
No, communication issues, I think. Can't hear him. Precious time being lost here in the pits.
Yes, he's got about 20 seconds before that 5 minutes is up.
Okay, no, good.
They're right on schedule.
I think they were just waiting for the countdown. I don't think it was...
Yeah, Z seemed quite eager to already leave,
Yeah.
and his team had to hold him back.
Because if not, then that really is going to be a pit infringement if you come out too early. So you see, he's slowed down to pit lane speeds. There is the blending lane, the fast lane, and the work lane. Those are the 3 lanes separated by the red bar in the middle. Once you get into the fast lane, it's, I think, 80 kilometers an hour in the pit. And that has timed it perfectly. So he's come out with a 5:07, slightly slower than his first pit stop of 5:04. Interestingly enough, Mohamed Hafez had a 5:17.
Yeah, that's probably the longest anyone has taken in the pit today.
5:17. Look at the spread that we've had. 12 seconds between Jolly Zien and Leon Koo. 32 seconds. That's 17 seconds that you've basically given to the competition.
Yeah, in the context of this competitive fixture,
you've given it
17 seconds is
it's nothing to do with speed. It's nothing to do with your engine. It's nothing to do with your car. You've literally wrapped up in an envelope 17 seconds and sent it to your competitors. So something they need to think about for sure.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point because the timing between both of them is... yeah,
if it was
just about 15 seconds, he could have easily been in 4th place.
You can't afford to lose 15 seconds in this class of racing, and that's what it is. You know, in F1, they judge pit stops by under 10 seconds, right? 8.8, 8.9, 9.1. Here, it's a different calibration for judgment, and that is exactly what I said. It's an extra 5 seconds, 10 seconds that you put on when you're leaving, when everything's done. Okay, so you can't have that. So that car that we've seen overtake other cars has been very fast. He's pushing it to the
he's trying to make up for
max
lost ground. Hafiz.
You're not going to make up
heating off
17
that
seconds.
wide bend.
Well, we can calculate it. He's got to lap at 220. The average was about 228. He's got to lap a second faster, so 227. If he puts in 227 for the next 15 laps, then he's made up for that 17 seconds. 2 seconds for 15 laps to make up for.
It's got to be consistent at its highest,
yeah, so now
level.
let's see what time this R Engineering car logs when it leaves the pit lane and rejoins the track. We'll be able to tell you because the clock will stop. 4:58, 4:59, 5:01, 5:02, 5:01 was when it crossed. 16 seconds. Unbelievable. Well, we've just got some news in, and this is some very interesting news as well, because we have the opportunity to talk to the manager of Bay Racing, and they've been right at the heart of some of these situations. Let's get down with the guys in the pit.
Right now on the Petronas Sepang International Circuit tracks, you will be seeing the car number 222 right on track, and I'm actually here with the team manager for Bay Racing, Jasper, with me today. So Jasper, I know you were not expecting to be interviewed today, but since your team is actually out on the tracks right now, we have to pull you in for the interviews. Now, of course, the weather today, you notice it's been a bit up and down. It's been a gloomy state, it's also a bit sunny, and of course, when it comes to the tracks here, every single part of the turns, it will be a different weather. But how do you think your team has actually adapted to these kind of situations?
Yeah, we adapted quite good. We had tested the wets, so we had decided to gamble on the slicks. So we have a great pace. Our team has done a good job. Perfect pit stops, perfect everything. So it's up to the drivers to give their best on the track.
How do you feel? How confident are you on your drivers right now? Of course, beyond question, your team has done an amazing job getting all the pits, as you mentioned, everything on time, on track. How much confidence do you have on your drivers? Do you think they are prepared for this race?
Yeah, they're well prepared. So last driver is currently out fighting for the position. So we'll hope the best for them. So to bring back a podium for us.
What is the biggest challenge now? Of course, it comes together as a team. It's not always about just the drivers, just their skills. They train really hard, going to the gym. We spoke to some of our drivers as well earlier. But as a team manager, what is the biggest challenge that you have for your role?
The biggest challenge is to get everyone prepared. The machine, the crew, everyone have one heart to build to make the best results for the team.
You think you have done that?
Yep, I think we've done really well.
Now, in comparison to today's race, because you can see there is a bit of up and down, it's a very good race so far. We've not seen too much of any penalties or too much of a challenge on the tracks. Do you think the data that you will be incorporating today will actually, you have to tweak a bit for the upcoming races for the last round?
Yeah, definitely. We don't have the currently fastest machine on the track, but we are building our drivers to cope. Then we'll upgrade our machines further and further to go on the routes.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what are the other improvements you'll be making for round 4 as well later on during MTCC 2026. And right now we're going to be back with Nick and Jeev and to witness the action.
Thanks a lot, Rena. Interesting term there from Jasper, the team manager of Bay Racing. Perfect pit stops. They have actually had perfect 2.00 pit stops.
Yeah, and that's put them well in contention for a podium finish, like what the team manager wanted.
Continuing on to what we were just saying before that interview, they have not given any seconds away. Mohammed Hafiz is having an absolute nightmare right now because they gave away the 17 seconds at the pit stop, 55.12, and then he pushed so hard on the laps afterwards to try and catch up some of that time, not necessarily that time, but to try and catch up time, that he also got a black and white flag for track limits infringement. That's the final warning.
But speaking of track times and lap times, look at these last lap time, Jeev. He's just
2:24. Very nice. Very nice.
yeah, and that's exactly what happened when he came out of pits.
Well, we'll be back after stopping there, Nick. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the finish, the end of this spectacular race.
The ultimate. Main technical partner for Lamborghini Super Trofeo. Ventus. Hungkook Tire.
And we're back for the remainder of this TP race, round 3 of the MTCC 2026. Car number 888, the latest into the pit, getting that tire change.
Well, this is a TP2 pit stop, and this car has essentially won it. The only way this car cannot win it is if it doesn't finish. So they can take their time in this pit stop, knowing that Jason Chow, the only other competitor in this class, is 2 laps back.
So presuming that Koo is behind the wheel, Jeep, because I think it may be him, like we saying, would have given him the honor of finishing the race. He's got 17 seconds to make up to Z. He's just posted the fastest lap time.
You know, the one thing we haven't got here, because what you usually have in endurance racing is stint time, which is every driver's specific time. There is a regulation at SIC, which is consistent with global touring car stuff, where drivers are only supposed to drive 40 minutes of every hour. I think it's 43 or 40 minutes of every hour, which means Lai Weising may not have had that option, even in this, which is a 2.5 hour race.
But there are a lot of, there are also solitary drivers in this race.
No, yeah, that's true. So basically, maybe it doesn't apply for this race in that.
I think it does apply for the S1K.
S1K, definitely.
Where you can only drive for.
No, the reason I brought it up is not a legal thing. It's not an infringement thing. It's the reason that's there is for driver fatigue and driver safety. So you know, Johnny Z is going to push through that for sure, and his stint is going to be. And we've seen the likes of Aiden Eichel, for example, go and stay out and do double stints as well. But in terms of Lai Weising, I told you he's a very smart man, and whether he's going to let Leon come out for a double, or whether they alternate to keep fresh, is a very important point, because both of them are very, you know.
Speaking of them, they've posted the fastest lap time, 2:25.
12 laps to go. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. So roughly, just about half an hour left, actually, of this race. 2:25 they're lapping, 12 laps to go. Let's do some number crunching here. 16-second. The pit stops are done. Okay.
Pit stops are done.
Pit stops are done. The strategies, the gambits are all gone. This is a race to the finish now, and literally 16 seconds ahead with 12 laps to go. means over a second a lap. Whether it's, let's refer to them as R Engineering. The R Engineering 39 car needs to do exactly what it's doing right now.
It needs to be consistently faster.
Yeah, it is currently the fastest car on track. It is exactly a second faster, which means actually they need to go even faster, because if it's a second faster with 12 laps to go, they're going to be 4 seconds back at the end. Okay, that's one future, that Johnny Z wins by 4 seconds, and that is Johnny Z maintaining at 2:26, which is a very fast time, let's not forget. And our Engineering 39 car closing up at its current rate. So
we can see our Engineering actually
trying.
Reducing the deficit.
Exactly.
15 seconds now.
Exactly. Now, the interesting thing is that Johnny Z has just gone a bit slower than he did beforehand, right? But he's matched it. So that gap is not getting any smaller.
He'll be happy with that. He'll be happy with that 2:26 as long as our Engineering are not too far behind.
Both of them would love to push as much as they can right now, but these are the danger laps. The last 11 laps of the 300 kilometers, okay, is basically the last 55 kilometers to do. That is 55 kilometers.
Oh, that's cool. So it is Livey Singh who's back.
Livey Singh is Livey Singh. Thank you, cameraman, and thank you everybody else in the pits.
Stopped us from speculating.
A list would be great, but yeah, we understand completely. It's all part of racecraft and race strategy to see who's in there. So Livey Singh, the team principal and owner, is in that car.
Yeah.
Right? He's 15 seconds back. 11 laps to go. It's almost a whodunit. Okay, these are the facts, these are the evidence. What does he need to do? He needs to be 2 seconds faster than Jonathan Z, which means he needs to be lapping at 2:24, regardless of taking position. That R Engineering 39 car needs to start clocking 2:24 laps. I ask you this, the jury, Nick, have we seen them put in a 2:24 today?
We have.
Yes.
We have.
They can do it. Is it going to push the car too much? That we don't know. They have a much better estimation.
And it's not just 2:24 over one lap, it's 2:24s over the remainder of
all
the
of
race.
them. All of them. It has to be perfect. And that is, of course, taking into account that this man here, that you can see smiling away in the bottom corner of your screen, does not go faster himself. That's if he stays at 2:26. If he goes to 2:24, you're going to have to put in a 2:22 if you're going to win this.
And that would be a record
I ask
for
you,
TP.
Nick, the jury, have we seen them put a 2:22 in? No.
No,
so
we've not.
now you see the bottom and the top end of what is going on the track. Okay. Currently, our Engineering are lapping 1 second faster than Johnny Z. They will get close. Now, there's no points for getting close. You're going to get the same amount of points if you finish 4 seconds behind Johnny Z or 20 seconds behind Johnny Z, and you're already 1 lap ahead of Arif and Fadzl. So it might be that for the last 10 laps, they let Johnny go. Are you going to risk your car? Are you going to push it at 2:22?
Precisely, yeah, that's the point that I was about to bring up. There's no point in risking it because you still will hold a comfortable lead at the top of the standings. And all you need to do is be consistent in your final round.
This is from our Engineering's point of view. Are you going to push the car to 2:22? It is the most successful car that we've seen in recent history for MTCC. There's no doubt about that. Can it do 2:22 laps now to get the extra points when they know that if they finish second and get 24 points, they're still going to be in the lead?
Yep, and for an experienced head like Livey saying, he knows exactly what to do. I think if we are talking on his behalf, it's all about just keeping the same, doing the same.
He has a lot more options in front of him. From a logic point of view, if you're going to pick 24 points up now, and you are 30 seconds ahead of third place, 95%, 90% this race, don't worry about winning it. Win it in round 4. Logic would state that. If they know a different trick up their sleeves, fine, by all means. This is the car that should have really performed a lot better today if it wanted to steal the championship.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say a lot better,
the dynamics switched after Fadzil handed over to Arif, and perhaps the caution from Fadzil was just maintain and not over push it, because we all know what can happen to the A45 if you overdo it.
True. I mean, but that you could say the same for the other 6 cars as well. The fact is, are you going to get any further traction in the championship by being where you are when you've got 9 laps to go? That's the only thing that should determine whether you push this car or not, because the last thing you want to do is push it just trying to win, and then it stops, and you don't win.
From a neutral point of view, it would have been amazing to see that Mercedes A45 give the R Engineering and also the Scuba Race team a run for their money. Because as we said, you know, it has all the capabilities to do so, and it made for a compelling view.
Now, that was a real shot. All those guys in the pit, true heroes behind these cars and the times.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about
the one month turnaround they had to get the car in the perfect setting, coming into an endurance race like this.
Look, you know,
what we saw in the first 2 rounds, we've not seen in this round, and I think that's a testament to the team.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's all the team. We're talking about the car being driven by the driver. We've got a nice picture of smiling Johnny Z there. The fact is that all those true heroes in the pit for every one of these teams, all of them, for all the different cars, Toyota, Honda, Mercedes, Volkswagen, came up with the same race time. 2:27.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about true heroes.
2:28. Even now, in the last 9 laps, they're just separated by 2 seconds, first and last.
We got more good news that came out of race control, which is that all cars have completed compulsory pit stop timing. That is a good thing to hear. When you got 10 minutes of pit stops running, that's a very, very good thing to hear.
And I know this is one thing that we've not spoken about all race, but we usually speak of. But I'm just gonna bring it up to make things interesting. We've not had an FCY.
Oh.
And bear in mind, we've had rain.
No, I'm going to do my little rain dance now just to make sure that we don't get one.
It's been such a unique race.
No, it's been a well-marshaled race for sure. It always is up at SIC. It's been a very well executed race by the 7 cars. But again, first thing I said when we got on air, 7 cars on this track, absolutely perfect. Unfortunately, you know, you don't get to choose these things. You know, when you've got, for me, between 7 and 10, you get the maximum amount. It's easy to execute your strategy. There's less chance that things are going to happen by other cars coming in and having a go. When you've got 67 cars, you can imagine that the space that's been cut down. So everything did work well for them. We've had great race pace up to 224s. The race pace has basically 224 was the high end. We didn't see a 23, did we?
No, it's a 24 was the fastest.
486 by
But the average has been about 226, 227.
Well, the other 5 cars in the other 4 cars, sorry, in TP, 225.850, 225.369, 225.966, and it's only Mohammed Hafez that put in a 227.039. But all of them, as the track dried up, very good. A spread from start to finish of 3 seconds.
Yeah, they've been all consistent in their lap times, and they've just kept at it.
So, ask yourself this, and I said it's another magic trick that comes from touring car racing. If they've all been within 3 seconds of each other for the entire race, and that's the average, how is it that one is 11 seconds out than the other one, and the other one is 41 seconds back, and the other one is 1 minute, 4 seconds back? That is down to braking, it's down to corners, and it is down to, as I put it, teamcraft, which is 17 seconds off the pit stop.
Yeah, there was a bliss hit from the
everything. Whether you know you're a little bit late on the line, like coming into here, teams 9 and 10. You're a little bit late on the line, a little bit early on the line, that's going to add up as well. So Johnny Z has driven well, He's driven a car that's been set up beautifully by his team of heroes at the Scuba Racing team that have given him consistently under 230 for 46 laps.
Oh, but interestingly, the last lap, he's posted a 229 and look at Ku.
No, that's perfectly fine. He knows what, it's up to him to lose.
He knows he has enough of a buffer.
He can lap at 229 because it still means that Leon Ku, Lai Wei Sing, sorry Leon, I know you're watching, but Lai Wei Sing has to still lap at 227 for the rest of the race. So it's not up to Johnny Z to win this, it's up to Johnny Z to lose this. It's up to our engineering to win this if they want. Notice that that time has gone to 10 seconds now. They are closing up.
Yeah,
but it's a
look at
masterclass.
Leon and it's quite hard to read his expression. Perhaps a little look of concern.
No, I think they're going to come out 94 points up in the championship. Regardless, they're going to pick up. They haven't picked up any.
Do you think
infringements.
Ku would have wanted more from Lai Wei Sing in that final stint, or would he just be?
Nick, I would have loved to have been an astronaut. Okay, I would have loved to have had a gold-plated Ferrari in my house. But the fact is, when you got into this race situation, obviously they wanted to win it. They know they've got a car that can win it. They know they've got drivers that can win it. But Johnny Z gifted kind of almost, in the first couple of laps, just a 3-second lead has built it up perfectly. So now you look at your situation with 7 laps to go and you think to yourself, am I going to lose this or am I going to win this? Win the battle or lose the battle, win the war. So the battle is this race, okay? And yes, Johnny Z is going to get a lot closer in the championship. He's going to be at 74 points, but you're going to be at 95, right? You're going to have the chance in round 4 to still push your strategy and win the title. So if I was in charge of this team, 95, you don't need to go as fast, and that's why they've been at 226.
And not forgetting the final round, I think he'll be back to Leon Ku behind the wheel, and it will ultimately be him being coronated if he can just
if we had a 10-round season, you get more stats. You get 20 races that you can look at. Now, if I asked you, based on the 2 rounds that we've had, and Leon Ku's especially performance in that R Engineering car, what do you think he'd do over 10 rounds?
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. He's probably going to win doubles at least 3 times and get podium finishes.
But look at that, it just seems to have closed the gap a little bit.
No.
I'm looking at Lai Wei Sing.
You look at.
Indeed, he has. He's just saved out another second.
He has, but it's up to him, and this is hats off, and you can hear me clapping for the Scuba Racing team because they're doing it just right. They're letting him get closer. They're not risking their car.
Yeah, not risking it.
Right?
Yeah,
they're not risking their car because they don't have to. The team that has to risk their car in terms of reliability right now is, ironically, one of the most reliable cars from the last few years. That one is on your screen right now. So this is the car that has to push. Is there a chance they could win? Probably, but I bet you if our engineering puts in 224 laps for laps 49 and 50, I bet you Jonathan Z will put in a 226.
You'll get faster.
Yeah. So you've got that option. You can keep going faster if you want, and you know it's in the bag. The fact is, they don't have to. They've done enough. The
And our
strategy is
engineering doesn't have to be too concerned about this car coming after them. So second spot is pretty much consolidated.
The only way that this car can make up the, 32 seconds that it is behind our engineering is if our engineering doesn't finish. So it is imperative that our engineering keeps moving, does finish, and finishes in second. That's a given now, right? If you want to push and go and try and catch Johnny Z, then you are risking. You're adding more risk to the micro strategy. There was the macro strategy, the big one, and then there's the tiny strategy for the last 10 laps. You see what I'm saying?
I think it's great if it finishes like this, because we will have a lot to talk about still in the final round.
A lot of options.
A lot of options. Because the championship would have not been over.
Yeah, in
of
motorsports,
course, Leon Poole in the driving seat, but Jonathan Z would go into that round with full of confidence.
In motorsports terms, there is an unofficial term called the Schumacher syndrome. Okay, and the Schumacher syndrome is for 7 years. Schumacher was so far ahead of everybody else that it's a done deal. You know, he's winning the championship halfway through the season. It's done, right? This is not a Schumacher situation. It's not a Schumacher syndrome. There's going to be 21 points, as we see it, between Johnny Z, Scuba Racing, and our engineering going into round 4. 30 points up for grabs, 21 spread. That's your story. That's what we're going to be looking for. And I can tell you now that both teams, those heroes that we saw in the pit, are relishing the fact that they're going to try and turn that over.
Yeah, that they've been given a chance through this performance from Z.
I think what's really important that we've seen today, and I'm going to touch wood before I say it, no DNFs. Nobody stopped. Even Chow Tek Song, who's, you know, he's 5 laps back.
He's actually closed the gap on car 888, close 2 laps.
Well,
so
you've got to try.
Behind.
I mean, that's a different situation. You've got to try, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 3 laps down, you have to try.
Oh,
also,
Hafiz having some.
Oh, this might be.
Man,
was that his door?
Yeah, it looks like a livery that's hanging off.
Did he just open his door at high speed?
Something's hanging off the back.
There's got to be a regulation against opening your door on the home straight. That's okay. The black stuff you're seeing coming off the tires is actually very, very common in an endurance race. As the tires
doesn't seem like anything severe.
No, as I said, those specks that come off in an 8-hour race, there's a huge pile of it at the side of the corners, because it's from the heat of the tires and it's general wear down on the tires. You'll know if there's a big problem. So that is car 888. So that's the car that's going to win for sure. TP2.
The cousins who are actually making their debut in this MTCC 2026.
Yeah, that's right. The family. That's right. That's what Areno's talking about. Brilliant, fantastic. You know, they have, through no fault of their own, all they had to do was survive. All they had to do was finish the race. And it looks like they're going to do that with 5 laps to go. They've been very conservative in terms of lap times, and they're, you know, doing. You said it was Chow Tek Song matching them. What if it's the other way around? What if they're matching him easily and he can't catch up? Basically, because they're now, you know, 2 points in space, moving around this beautiful FIA Grade 1 track at exactly the same speed. So you're not adding any ground.
No, like you said, Jeff, they've kept it consistent throughout the course of this almost 3-hour race.
That's already an achievement.
Chow had a setback early on when he had to come into an unscheduled pit, and that set him back.
That third pit stop is almost the 2.5 minutes, or maybe even 5 minutes that he spent in there. That has led to the 2 laps back. Well, you know, it's
just as
a shame.
We speak
just
of
as
Chow.
we speak of him, and everybody not having any finishes, he's out. Look at the huge spin.
That's exactly that same turn as well. 7 coming into.
So maybe there was actually a little bit of moisture still kicking around on the inside of that entrance, which he's
deep
hit.
in that gravel.
Yeah, he's. Are we going to see it? This is it. That's exactly what happened to him on lap 1, except this time. He's out.
Exactly.
Now,
Turn 8.
you might just get your full course yellow. You might just get your FCY.
But he's off the track though.
Oil.
Let's see. If there's
They're going to have to check to see if there's an oil spill or if there's any kind of debris on that very fast track. And that's how quickly things can turn. So even the speculation of him getting closer is now gone. All this guy has to do is finish to get the points. It's as simple as that. In fact, I don't even think it has to finish. I I think even if they DNF, they'd still get the points because they finished before.
I'm interested to see how much of a lead that Z has.
It's a very interesting
after completing his lap. He's definitely closed the gap quite significantly.
Doesn't matter.
Like we're saying.
Absolutely, they're lapping it exactly. See, Johnny Z's lapping exactly the same time. So it just doesn't matter. He's gonna. It's the same as a football team kicking the ball around for the last 2 minutes. It just is gonna be.
Yeah, it's the same. Almost 8 seconds.
Yeah, and 8 seconds would mean this car has to now go at a 220 for the next 3 laps, which is bordering on impossible, even for a car of that quality. But numbers don't lie, mate. Numbers do not lie. Stats never lie. And motorsports is absolutely 100% based on timing, numbers, and stats. Whether they're live, whether they are historical, cyclical, whatever. That's what these cars can do. They are machines in the end. So, you know, even the fastest drivers, you'd agree with me now, could probably hit a 223. They might hit a 222.8, but they're not hitting a 220.
Yeah.
They're not hitting a 219.
We've not seen a 220 at least. Not even close.
You know, a Porsche Carrera Cup, you need a different class of car. GTs and GT3s to come in and start hitting those kind of times.
So we've got an update on what happened in turn 8. There are marshals working on the car, but no FCY. So we're still on course for an uninterrupted race.
Yeah, that's good. And as I said, in terms of the 888 car for our engineering, they might, even if they didn't finish, they might still get the points because it is about the percentage of the race that you've completed. It's not about finishing in the end. And all of these cars have gone past that, way past that. You're talking about 95, 98% completed at 3 laps to go. So I think these standings will stay. Once again, as we said earlier, there are, I mean, innumerable amounts of infringements or adjudications or opinions, really, that turn into fact post-race. So there have been plenty of times in the MCS and MTCC where some positions have changed based on something that's happened post-race. I can't see that happening here because we have had hardly any infringements, right? There is that pit stop. 17 pit stop.
No, yeah, you're spot on.
No further action.
We've not had close contentions, no shunts. No
wait,
bumps.
there is one. No, Hafiz getting the black and white flag was a warning, so it's a final. It's not a pending.
Yeah, it was just a warning for him.
It's review, pending, final. That's the process that they go through.
And this is an indication for all these competitors what they achieve out of this race that they will use for the Sepang 1000, because this
as much as they can.
As much as they can, yeah.
As much
because
as
this essentially serves as a prelude to the Sepang 1000 happening later.
Well, to break it down, you take this car that we're seeing, the Volkswagen that we're seeing on our screen now, the 17 Scuba Racing Team car. They know how it does over the sprint. They know how it does in just like the shoreline of endurance, which is 2.5 hours. S1K is 8.5 hours, so you know there's a whole new set of problems that turn up with that. You might have to replace entire parts of the car, right? Not just fuel and not just tires. But yes, what they do have is an indication of how this car behaves when it starts heating up. When it's like when you're running and you run out of breath, you've got lactic acid buildup. For a car, it's when all the parts are warm and heated up and the oil's heated up and the tires heated up. How does it perform? Does it start overheating? Does it start getting faster? Is it something manageable? And they know it's manageable. And, you know, somewhere along the line, if you can manage a car that can make it to the finish line for 300 kilometers, then who's to say you can't come up with another strategy that'll manage it for the other 700?
Final warning for car 888 as well, on respecting the track limit.
That's not going to lead to any time difference.
I don't think they would mind it one bit.
Our
engineering team.
you know, it's up. So leader will be coming to the last lap, I've just been told. And that's going to be a timing thing more than anything else, I think. So there you go, 1 lap to go. I like that little screen that they have now. It used to be a board that said last lap.
It's all
Oh,
now.
now it's an actual, like an AI board, I guess.
Digital board.
It's an
and
LED
that's
board. It's an LED.
confirmation.
God, I remember the times when LED was looked at like AI. That's how old I am, by the way. But yeah, when LED first came out, LCD as well. I was like, oh wow, no. Now we've got AI. Anyway, it is the last lap. Johnny Z, I wonder what kind of lap time he puts in for this last one. 7 seconds ahead is more than enough for the big game, which was 30 points.
Yeah, what a way, what a time to get your first win of the season.
He was up 16 for the first stage of the race before the pit window, first pit window. He was up 12, 13 after that pit window, and now he's let them eat that lead away and just managed this car very well. This has been actually, and I'm a big fan of Johnny Z, one of his most composed performances I've seen.
I think he got it absolutely spot on the pits. He came in early. He left on time, and right after leaving on time, he set twice he set best lap times, and that paved the way for him.
Yeah. So I personally, and this is all with full due respect to Papaya Pay, believe that A45 could have had more of an impact in this race. It's going to finish third for sure, and that's good because you're going to pick up 20 points for that, which is going to help in a way. It's not going to get the lead for the championship, but you never know what's going to happen in the last race, right? And there's 30 points, last races, and there's 30 points. So this is Johnny Z coming up to the checkered flag. He's on the back straight now. That was turn 14 into turn 15. Nice and easy. I'm just going to give a quick check as he goes past the line what his last lap time was. And it was, as he gets the checkered flag, there it is.
First win of the season for Johnny Z, and what a time it has come.
2:28.48. He absolutely did not speed up on that last lap. And I said, Lai Wei Sing finishes second, 7 seconds back. So a good, in terms of, we've got to break it down in terms of what they did. In terms of reliability, fantastic from both teams. In terms of speed, fantastic from both teams.
Yes, composed, not over pushing it, not overdoing it. In terms of
pitting, this is where they're different because our engineering came in late, first window and second window. Johnny came in early first window, mid second window. So that's a big difference that happened. And maybe that's what created the...
And Z did push right after coming on his out lap, which is when he created those lap times.
Yo-yo,
lap
I
times.
said yo-yo between 2:24 and 2:29. And that was good enough.
So we'll see Leon Koo on
95 points.
95 points.
And Johnny Z will be on 71, right?
And Z, who was on 44,
on 74 points,
he'll be on 74.
So there you go. We've got that situation.
Points.
21 point spread, 30 points available in round 4. But you know that would mean our engineering. That would mean Johnny Z winning a double. Our engineering not finishing.
And not finishing. Yeah, both
so
races.
that's your
such a mammoth task, but
that's your ideal situation. What's more realistic is for Johnny Z just to go out and get the win and hope something happens. That's it.
Yeah, he can only do what's in his control.
You can only do exactly what's in your control. You can't do anything else.
Another development in DTP is Arif overtaking Hafiz in the overall standing, so he jumps up to third.
Oh,
He's got
right.
himself 20 points. So that will give him 60 points.
So
And,
it's just Bay Racing that is waiting to finish now. Both the TP2s have also come through in 15:48 laps completed for both of them. And it's good to see that Chartek Song actually finished as well. I was very happy with that race, to be honest with you.
yeah, I think in every sense it delivered the expectations for not just us, but for the thousands watching back home.
Oh, look
touring
at
car
that.
fans. Yeah, I already saw that red alert on
I was wondering,
Chang's,
but David, that's a blown tire. That is hobbling over the line.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
just creaking over the finish line.
absolutely ripped to shreds piece of rubber there.
It's coming out, it's coming out.
And you know what? That would have been your full course yellow, for sure.
And he finished it. So all in all, a perfect race. Even though he limped over the line, he got the job done.
This is the perfect race, right here on this field. That's a perfect race. Well done, Scuba Racing team. Well done, our engineering as always. They've come good.
You know, Z described this race as notorious, the 300 km endurance race.
It is notorious. I mean, I've watched a few of these. And of course, well done to, who are those guys? The voices that you hear. I don't know who they are.
Our friends.
Yeah, they
old friends who have helped us along this journey for the last 3 hours.
Absolutely compellingly brilliant. Well done, Johnny Z. I'll try to say that loud enough so that you hear us. We're actually, our commentary box is just above those two cars that have parked. They can't hear us, of course, because of, as Mio and Marina would put it, our comfortable position. So Papaya comes in third. All those cars will be going off to Parc Fermé now to get heavily scrutinized. I love that word, scrutinized. I have a funny feeling it's derived from the pirate ages, you know, scrutineering. It sounds like it's a very piracy-based thing. But you see, look, they're very happy. Podium, points, setting themselves up for round 4.
My wife. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's a sweet moment, wife.
Fatil's actually got his wife capturing all his content. He's quite active on social media. And it's always a family affair. I've seen him with his kids as well.
I'm glad you said that, because this entire championship is a family affair.
Indeed, we see all their family members down there.
Oh, I mean, there's direct family for the drivers, but the drivers themselves are their own family. They race against each other week in, week out, on the same track. It is unique, as you said, and today we saw something very special. The last place guy in class with the faster lap.
Fastest lap time, yeah.
You know, there is Lai Wei Sing. Think about the amount of cars that Lai Wei Sing has running at any time, whether it's in TP2, MTC, MT2VG, you name it. Congratulations to Johnny Z.
Very good.
Well, as you can see, the cars are firmly into Parc Fermé now. And we're going to have a chat with the winners before we start the podium ceremony. Let's have a chat to the guys that won this endurance race.
Of course, our TP300 km endurance race round 3 MTCC 2026 champion, the infamous Jonathan Z. Congratulations to you, Jonathan. This is a very good step for you because, of course, it's all about the points accumulation at the end of the race. And this is the highest when it comes to the whole MTCC 2026 season. And you brought the first placing. How do you feel?
I feel damn happy. I felt that the past few weeks that the whole team that's been working throughout the car, improvising, it did well. So today, the test, we passed the test.
Amazing, amazing. Now, this is a huge step from your round 1 and round 2. We know you were a bit struggling there. Of course, you know, Jonathan Z. Who is Jonathan Z? Everybody knows Jonathan Z. You're always on top. But it's so happy to see you back up on the podium, at the first place podium. Did you face any challenges? I know there was a bit of an infringement, track infringement that you had. Do you want to comment a bit about that?
Yeah, because the track was semi-wet, so it's very unpredictable. But okay. My manager managed to calm me, so we managed our pace, drive a bit more conservative, so we managed to pull the gap back later at the later part of the race.
Certainly. Now the stats were definitely up and down between you, Leon Koo, Lim Wai Sing. What was the? Would you say that was the biggest challenge that you had on the race, or do you think it was the track? Because I think wet race is your specialty, so I don't think it's the track. Was it difficult to get back on top with Leon? I'm sure he put up a good fight.
Yeah, definitely the FL5 is a very good car. Of course, the driver is very consistent. But I think I love the wet a lot, so it really put me at the advantage.
Amazing, amazing. I'm so happy to see you back on top. Can't wait to see you up on the podium. Congratulations once again, Jonathan. Back to Nick and G.
Great words from Johnny Z, and we said it. I said yo-yoing, he said managing the pace. That's exactly
and the weather also played to his hand.
We didn't say enough about that. And of course, we are now going to check in with TP2. Our engineering won that as well. Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan. Let's hear from them.
When you guys do a handsome, our TP2 champions for this 300 km endurance race, we have car number 888, Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan, who are also the cousins. The cousins duo that made it to top of the race. Congratulations to the both of you. Now, I have talked to you, Junji, earlier. I do want to shift my focus to Yuhan right now. You did bring forward the mid of the race. Do you think this was a smooth transition between the both of you?
It was really a smooth transition. We didn't lose much time. The pit stop was great. He has very good pace as well. We got lucky, and yeah.
Now, from Yuhan, as you took over earlier, of course, the beginning and the ending of the race is the most important as well, bringing in the trophy home. Now, when it comes to finishing the race, did you face any challenges? Or do you think the weather was on your side, the luck was on your side today, or what was your challenge?
To be fair, I think while finishing the race, everything was fairly safe because our first stint was the strongest. We didn't pit to change tires, so that gave us a huge gap. So yeah.
Amazing. Now, I do want to ask one question. I think a lot of our viewers are actually anticipating back at home because this is your first MTCC duo, and we're actually first time meeting you guys. So will we be seeing more of the both of you?
Yeah, definitely. So we're considering, you might see us in the TP1 category next as well. So yeah, that'll be amazing. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, your first MTCC with us and also your first podium with us. Congratulations once again. Back to Nick and G.
That is very true. First race in MTCC. And you're
what
on
you
the
call
podium.
a perfect debut.
So these are the results for touring production. Johnny Z, pretty much perfect all the way in that Volkswagen GTI. Leon Koo, Lai Wei-Sing in the Honda Civic FLS for our engineering in second. Arif and Fadzil for Papaya Pay in third. Hafiz for 5512 in fourth. And then it's Bay Racing in fifth, the 222 car.
And in the TP2, we saw our engineering, the cousins Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan getting a big win over the leader Chow Tek Song.
Yes, it was unfortunate for Chow Tek Song, and I think he's going to turn up very early. He's being outclassed. That's the same. Look at all the water. Look at the water on the end. So this is the exact bit of skidding already.
Fueling.
in Bay Racing at this point. So he is.
We are beginning to see it in this round because 2 seconds faster than
It's
him.
2 seconds faster. So that might.
I wonder for what though. We did not see any.
Sincerely hope there's nothing. He's got to leave the pit lane at 5, and he's done that. 5:04, in fact.
Gonna extend that lead and create an even bigger buffer.
10-second spread. He's had enough problems to put him out the running. I think that's the.
He's done it. He's actually come out in front before Cook can get on his up.
In terms of power, but
There you go. He lost a bit of speed then. Just as we spoke, during the change in a split second.
The stuff in, but yeah. Yes.
Ground up his.
You're not going to make up 7. We'll be able to tell you because the clock will stop.
The remainder of the
pros behind these cars up with the same race time. Very good. They spread from start. It's almost, there you go, 1 lap, and just managed. There it is. 7 seconds back. They've come. So that's how it played out, and I just heard over the public address system, Arena, I think we're ready for the podium. So that podium will be with us very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Yes. 如果没有不出来的话，连分数都没有啊。就是哦。哦。我个 finish 啊，我个 finish 啊。我都死啊，连分数都没有啊。哎，算错了吧？不会啦。进多一次币呢？进多什么？我们就慢慢熟就好了嘛。我后面看到它越下越大，越下越大。你知道我一换直接干掉。叫到后面干地啊！我这个打压好用，10路水啊，你才
你個打瓜油啊，余太。
好靚啊，你啊！哎，算錯了。啊，
刚刚那个 outlet， 我看你 speed 在那个在中头有。As long as we finish.
Finish 的話，朋友，very well.
No mistake.
Very well. Good. Hey, good man. Your face that good.
沒有啦，一樣啦，
一樣。我啦。啊，成個啊，成個都冇可以再分。
Not here yet.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, sorry.
Mana dia punya ada macam putus lah. Lampu kita check out. Aku nak check dia punya back focus. Bagi tahu kena check back focus dia. Ada kena check back focus. Okey tak back focus ni? Ayo, okey tak? Ayo.
Attention to Faisal Adang and Arif Hanafia, please make your way to the podium as we are about to begin our podium ceremony shortly.
Okey tak?
All right, so the podium ceremony is about to get underway. And we will kick it off with the TP category. Interesting developments, Jeev, to come out of the motorsports.
I know what you're talking about.
I just read the news.
What you're
just read the
talking
news
about.
on.
Well, first of all, let's just. It's not confirmed yet.
Decision will be made tomorrow.
But it might be the return of
We will start with the touring production TP category.
We just had to say it, this is just fresh off.
Yeah, we just had to. It's a rumor. It's a rumor. We will not confirm it yet. Back to the podium.
Racing team, Arif Hanafia and Fazil Allah.
Well, they were teamed up for the first time this season. Arif, along with Fazil. I thought Fazil was immense in his role today.
Car number 39, R Engineering, Leon Koo and Lai Wee Sing.
Always smiling, Leon. There you go, family, see?
Touring production TP category. Car number 17, Jonathan Z.
Well done, Johnny Z. He has again won my coveted Most Valuable Driver Award.
General Manager HK Motorsport.
You know, Nick, some people think it's actually more valuable than the trophies themselves.
You should be out there giving out the awards next time.
I'll give them a little aluminium foil badge, the MVDG award. But thanks to Miss Schelling there. Our VIPs on hand for the trophy presentation. Second place in TP. Lively Singh, big smile as well. And there he goes. He's got his trophy. There you go.
Now for a photo opportunity with Miss Michelle.
And that's it. Johnny Z, Leon Koo and Lai Wee Singh and Arif Hanafia and Fazil Allah.
Raise your trophies high and
all these teams are currently in contention to finish on the podium come end of the season because they are in the top 3 in this class.
To our TP winners.
Well done. Congratulations to all of our winners.
Thank you once again, gentlemen. Thank you, race ambassadors. And now, next up, we have the T Production TP2 category. In second place, car number 11, R Engineering, Chiao Tek So.
Well, a muted smile from Chao Tek-seong. It wasn't the fairy tale run that he wanted in the 300-kilometer race by any standards. And really the only car that was troubled.
Car number 888, R Engineering, Lim Junji and Lim Yu-ha.
They're going to have a great family dinner tonight.
Indeed.
They're going to go for
and
a
they'll be
big,
planning
yeah,
for the next race where they might even come in the TP category.
I hope it's a big seafood thing. I hope it's a big seafood thing and they sit down with all the family and
happening
go,
in a Chinese shop just beside the Sepang circuit.
So much good food around here as well. Siti Shazwani, Mohamed Yusuf. All of our VIPs on hand to give out the trophies.
And now for a photo opportunity with Miss Siti Shazwani. Thank you, Miss Siti. Can we have all our winners at the top of the podium for a photo opportunity?
Oh, there you go. Lim Junji and Lim Yuhan, the cousins, 888 car, and our engineering with a 1-2 ultimately.
Can we have our race ambassadors for another photo op?
I do like the podium that they have this year for MTCC.
Yeah, it looks more grand.
Congratulations to
And that brings us to the end of our coverage of the TP2000 race, 300-kilometer round 3. Don't forget there is another 300-kilometer race happening tomorrow, just after 2 o'clock. So do join us then. For now, from the commentary box, from me and Nick, it is goodbye. You guys have a great evening.